And we're back with episode 14 of IcoPod. I'm Bob Conley Jr. and with me, as always, is Austin Skinner.
The present under your Christmas tree this year, me, Austin Skinner.
Well, you can't be telling people because that ruins the surprise of Christmas.
Well, by the time this comes out, it will be fucking Christmas.
I was gonna make that joke, but I don't think that's accurate.
Well,
I mean, it's what, April 3rd.
Well, happy 4th of July.
Yeah, so by the time this comes, happy Father's Day.
Right.
Hope your father's having a great day. And if you're a soon-to-be father, this is a great thing to listen to with your kids.
There you go. And if you're not, I'll make you one.
I don't think we have that demographic. I don't think we have females really listen to this.
Well,
But if you are a female and you're single and you want to hit us up, well, hit me up.
I'm taken.
You're taken.
But if you want to hit us up, is that bad to say?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
Do you think your girlfriend listens to this?
Not at all.
Okay, so we're good.
No.
If you want to be real undercover,
Yeah.
like a secret,
You better be sneaky.
yeah, like a Repo Man type of sneak.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like what's yours is yours, but what's mine is yours too, or whatever.
Right. And you know what? If you're a girl listening to our podcast and watching back Raw 1993, skip the email. I'll give you my fucking address. You just come to my house. We're skipping that part.
Wouldn't it be funny if that's how I meet my wife?
That's an anomaly.
Yeah. Like I thought I was the only girl. Like I was the only girl ever watching Raw '93, and then I heard this podcast, and like Bob just sounded so adorable.
That voice is like so sexy.
Yeah, our girl voices are amazing. By the way,
Well, they're on key. I'd love to do the whole podcast like that.
we
but-
should. Maybe we should do a Raw where it's just like you know what?
Oh my god.
Demento's like talking to himself, and like I don't like that.
What a creeper.
I feel like he's talking to another girl, but I don't know what's going on.
He's a cheating fucker.
I can't trust him. Our openings always just go off the rails. So who?
This is but you know what? People listen for this part, and then they tune out when the wrestling is talked about.
They're like Bob Backlund. No. We want them
we're
talking
back.
like girls again.
Okay, let's go back to that. Yeah.
Just play the same 3 minutes over and over.
Yes, literally.
Maybe I should give out my phone number to any females that are on there. I'll get catfished or something.
Well, I'm gonna catfish you. I'm gonna ask for like money and give you like a sob story.
Right.
But you'll forget about that in a couple months. So like, just forget about it right now.
Right. Until like I fall in love with you, and then I'll be going back listening to old episodes and be like, wait a minute, fucking Austin said in episode 14.
And then you'll be like, wait a minute, why were those nudes dicks? That's right, baby.
Why were those
Sneaky like Repo Man.
Why were those nudes dicks and from Austin?
Just coincidence.
From
Just
Austin's phone number.
It's coincidence, man. It's coincidence. Pay no attention.
Oh my god.
Pay me. Don't pay attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Just blindly send you money through PayPal or
$100
something.
every once in a while would be nice. That's the least you can do.
Well, what about me? Anybody want to give me money?
No, I'm taking the money.
Oh, you're
from
just
you.
taking it. Oh, you're
from you.
Okay, so if anybody gives me, it's like a pyramid scheme. So if you give me money, then Austin's is going to take it from me.
I'm taking that money and your money.
Oh, great.
So double.
Double
Yes,
whammy. So
exactly.
I'm losing out on double the money.
Yes.
Wow, this is turning into one of the worst episodes for me financially.
You're in the hole.
Wow.
Yeah,
This
you're already in the
sucks.
hole.
This is not good.
And we're what? Maybe 3 minutes in here?
Yeah, about 4.5.
Oh, there you go.
This is brutal. Well, anyway, welcome again to episode 14 of IcoPod. You can send us any financial advice, maybe cash donations.
To me.
Or routing numbers to your banks or to our banks, whichever.
To me.
To Austin, or you can send them to icopodcast@gmail.com, which would then go to Austin anyway.
Yes.
And then you can also go on Facebook at IcoPod and be sure, hey.
Nudes for Bob.
Nudes for me, yes, if you're female. And then if you have any money that you want to give Austin, make sure you message us and be like, hey, Austin, here's your money.
Right.
This is how you're going to get it.
For free.
Right. No. You got to cover the service charge, too, if there is a charge.
Oh, absolutely. Don't be cheap. I mean, come on.
Yeah. One time I had a guy pay me to put something on my website, like $75.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, but then he didn't pay the service fee, so I only got $73.
What a dick.
Yeah. I was like, fuck you. I should delete it off my page.
And keep the money.
And keep the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't even remember what post it was in, but I could find it.
Oh, it was a post?
Yeah. Like, I had to be like, oh, hey, go to this guy's website.
Oh, okay. All right. So it was like promotion.
Yeah, I basically sold out.
I'm not surprised. You're probably selling this podcast on the black market.
No, in Canada.
Great.
The exchange
I'll be
rate.
tracking that down.
The exchange rate is higher.
No,
So
that's probably fair.
it is. We're actually making a building, the EcoPod building, down there.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock your ass out of it.
Yep. I mean, they're really friendly down there, so maybe
Down there,
up there.
right?
Well, I mean,
I think your head's up there.
No, it is down there. I mean, the Earth is a globe. I mean, so it's a sphere. So if I were to go down, eventually I'd reach it.
My IQ is going down as we talk.
Well, I'm just
things.
saying, if I go south, eventually south just runs out, and I gotta go north.
That's a fair point.
So I mean, if I go down, I'm gonna get there. Expand your mind, Austin. I'm just saying, like, if you go constantly, if you're constantly going west,
Right.
eventually you're gonna end up east.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, because west eventually runs out of room.
I'm running out of patience.
I'm just right. Come on, it's a globe.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you spin it, it's spinning.
Right.
So you're always moving.
Absolutely.
So if you're going, if I were to go to LA right now and I kept on going,
Right.
and then obviously there's water there, so I'd have to go like, swimming.
So answer me this,
Yeah.
Bill Nye, the fucking science guy.
Mm-hmm.
Where does west turn into east?
that's no one's been there yet.
All right.
But
We'll leave
eventually-
that to the viewer.
It could be like the Truman Show. Eventually you get there and there's just a wall.
You're like invisible. You can't
Yeah,
get by
I'm just
it.
like fuck.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that's life's question right there. I think
What
we'll
if-
just end the podcast there.
maybe we're like just in a bubble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe there's a guy up there that's just controlling our lives. Like you're not even really my friend. You're just an actor.
They're like a puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the Truman Show, isn't it? Am I Truman?
I didn't want to break it to you this way, Bob, on air live. But yeah, buddy.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I knew it.
So let's act like good little puppets and continue with the show, shall we?
Yeah, I guess. On this episode here, I have literally no news. Nothing.
What else is new?
I don't have any house shows.
Boo.
The second episode in a row, no house shows and no syndication.
People are probably pissed.
Yeah. Oh, I'm pissed.
I think you're slacking. Why weren't you booking shows at this time, Bob?
Because I was 4.
Whatever. Likely story.
And if I was 4, man, Virgil's my number 1 guy. I don't think anybody wants
Good
that.
thing then.
Like
Yeah.
Virgil Tatanka's probably my top feud.
You're jerking off to that.
I mean, I jerk off at it now. And
Right.
I don't wanna
So
know.
at 4.
So
I mean,
4, who knows?
Right.
I'm rattling my rattle, and that's all.
Holy shit.
Right? No? Okay.
I don't know if it's right, but we'll go with it.
I don't know what I'm talking about. So, episode 14 here. We got Rampage 93.
Yeah.
Now, you're probably thinking, what the fuck? We're not doing Raw? No, we're not doing Raw today. Rampage 93. Our last episode was Raw on April 5th, which was a tape show, like 2 weeks, on March 22nd.
Right.
It was 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Not even original programming. So I guess the next live programming, aside from WrestleMania, would be Rampage 93.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, and that took place on April 11th, 93, which was on I guess, was that a Sunday?
Well, it's a Sunday because the following Raw is going to be live, and that's April 12th.
Right.
So, yes.
Yep, so this was a week after WrestleMania 9 from Sheffield, England.
Right.
So I'm just going to start off right into it.
Well, it's funny. That's a hell of a jump from Las Vegas to Sheffield, England.
Well, I mean, if you just keep on going west,
It's
not that bad.
Right. Right.
See, it all ties together.
It does. It does.
Okay, so what? Rampage 93, I mean, we get this opening thing. I'm pretty sure the music's been edited.
I
It's on the
love how
network.
enthusiastic you are with this right now. I don't know. We get this opening thing.
Because
It was
when we
stupid.
go through the show, it's going to be fucking dreadful. So I got to be...
Listen, okay.
can't be
let
excited
me
about
try my hand at this.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, because when they opened up with this package, we saw flashes of the arena being set up, several top talents, and a few European countries are shown throughout. I thought it was a pretty cool little video. I liked it.
I wasn't even paying attention to what the fuck they were doing. I all heard it was music, and I'm like, cool, I got about 30 seconds before anything happens.
Before I have to watch anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Pretty
that
much.
sounds like you. I definitely feel that it did feel dated. But it was nice to not have the same Raw intro. Like we were watching something different. And I thought the video package was pretty well put together.
It might be arguably the best thing on the show then.
Oh my God. Bob, you are killing me today.
And there's an hour and a half of the show. We go to the arena, and it's Lord Alfred Hayes, Bobby Heenan, and Jim Ross, who made his debut at WrestleMania 9 on commentary.
And I have to say right here, when I saw these three, I thought it was going to be one hell of a night for commentary. Because holy shit, those are some personalities right there to clash. Fucking Lord Alfred Hayes, Jim Ross, and Bobby Heenan.
Well, if Lord Alfred Hayes was on commentary, he's not making sense on anything.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Heenan's just going to get himself over.
Of course.
The entire time. And then
At the expense of the other two.
Right. And then Ross will be the only guy trying to call action.
Yes, exactly.
So he'll be like, oh, what a great vertical suplex. And then he would say, well, you still smell.
I taught him that.
You're from Oklahoma, Jim Ross.
Yeah, right.
Or something. Or I taught him that.
And Lord Alfred Hayes would be like, my word, do you see his new attire here? What could that mean for him?
Right.
Well, he's like not even talking about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he barely knew who the hell Jim Ross was.
No, he probably didn't even know.
He probably thought Bobby Heenan was Jim Ross, and that Jim Ross was Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
He was.
And
who the hell
Lord Alfred Hayes thought he was Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably had to edit that in post production for the. No, Lord Alfred Hayes. You're Lord Alfred Hayes. Not Gorilla Monsoon.
Right.
Oh, bloody hell. So Ross puts over what will be on the show tonight, and that Heenan will be interviewing former WWF World Champion Yokozuna and Mr. Fuji in the ring later tonight.
And boy, was I looking forward to that, Bob.
You were.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
For real?
Yeah, because I know it's going to be a train wreck.
Okay, so it's not like a positive thing. That's great.
No, just a laugh.
Okay, we go right into action, and it's our first match of the night. It's one half of the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobbs, taking on one half of the Headshrinkers, Fatu.
So, Mike Chioda is doing the ring announcing here.
No way.
Yes, he is.
It's Tony Chimmel.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Tony Chimmel.
Mike
Who's
Chioda.
Mike Chioda?
He's a referee.
Yeah, so Tony Chimmel is doing the ring announcing here.
I want Mike Chioda to do it now.
I don't know what that would sound like. I don't know if I've ever even heard his voice.
Oh, he's like super South. Like he's a Southerner.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I can't even do a South Mike Chioda. I don't even know.
Well, regardless, so Tony Chimmel threw me off. Obviously, because
He's been there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just hearing him announce, it was like, holy shit, that sped it up a couple years.
Yeah, because he wasn't doing. I don't know. He wasn't doing Raws or
No.
pay-per-views. That's always Fink, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
So maybe he's just doing overseas stuff. I don't know.
I don't know. It was weird. It was weird hearing Tony.
If we were watching Superstars and Wrestling Challenge, I mean, he's probably doing one of those. I don't think Fink
Maybe.
would be doing
Yeah.
lower level stuff.
Yeah. But I didn't think Chimmel was there until like later 90s. So that was weird.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, and then I remember. I can't remember. It wasn't this show the first time, but there was a show when I was like, oh my God, he's been there for 20 years.
Yeah, forever.
You know?
Forever.
Yeah.
Fucking Mike Chioda. So Fatu makes his way to the ring here pretty well booed, which was nice. And his facial expressions, dude, are so good. Like, Rikishi Fatu is probably one of the more underrated guys at this time. And I just couldn't help but to wonder why they'd put him in a mask in a couple of years. Because he delivers so much face-wise. Did you throw a mask on him? Like, what the fuck?
Was that in reference to Sultan?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Such a downgrade. I would have just kept him as Fatu. If really, like,
Well,
why that?
he goes through
A lot.
like a couple of different characters.
Yeah.
Because there's this obviously, and then like Make a Difference Fatu.
Oh, I don't even know that.
Yeah, so I guess we'll get there for that one, and then then he just goes to Sultan. I would have thought he would be in like this. We're way going overboard, but Nation of Domination. Why wasn't that guy ever the Nation of Domination?
Yeah.
You know, that was weird.
Yeah.
He would have been a great guy for that.
Perfect. And he's fucking talented and can wrestle.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because they're from what, like 97?
Yeah.
Like half of 97 until later part of 99. Like he's not even there.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Not,
Right.
And he comes back as Rikishi, and then it gets like super over.
Well, and so that's the thing. I think he would have been over as something earlier if they did the right thing with him. The fucking Sultan, nobody's going to succeed with that. Nobody.
Especially in 97.
In 97.
And then the make a difference thing isn't.
See, I don't even know what that is.
Well, I guess we'll get to that in like 2021, and we'll
Perfect.
talk about it.
Yeah.
So we go right into the opening match here, and I thought it was kind of weird seeing Knobs in singles competition.
They were hyped for him.
I was just gonna say he was getting really good reaction from England.
And you know what though?
He just absorbs it. You can tell he's like,
oh my god, he milks it so bad because so Knobs comes out, and mind you, I'm like, oh fucking A, Brian Knobs, great. He goes to all four corners to make sure he gets all the reaction he can here. When usually you just start the match. You know what I mean?
Or go to one corner.
Or one corner. Yeah. No, Brian Knobs goes to all of them.
Well, he was probably thinking, this is my one time to feel like Hulk Hogan.
Yes. Oh, they did. And you know what? There's something about these UK shows where I don't know how they were getting these in. But these fuckers have air horns every show.
Okay.
Every show.
I'm gonna.
And it's always the same beat.
Yeah. And then they say the thing.
Nasty.
Yeah.
It's like, oh fuck. No.
Or what's another one? There's another guy.
They do it for everybody. Typhoon even gets it.
Typhoon, like, but then it's like there's
Typhoon.
One like Perfect. They do it for Perfect a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah,
fuck.
Perfect.
It's the thing is, like, I was gonna mention it like the second or third match. It's throughout the entire fucking show.
And dude, I've seen other shows where they do that, and it's the same chant. I know I have.
And there was like, okay, so probably the first half hour, everyone's doing it. They're all like, they're eating it up.
There had to be, at one point, 4 air horns going.
Probably.
Because they would start doing it in like stereo with each other.
Yep, they would time it.
Oh,
but like the whole crowd would be getting into it. But then you can like tell, probably 45 minutes in, that people are just like, dude, okay.
Yeah, we're sick of it.
We've chanted enough today.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, yeah, guys, I mean, I wouldn't be dedicated to do that for an hour and a half. No. And I'd be sick of hearing it. If I was sitting around this guy, I'd be like, dude, can you fucking stop? One or two matches, sure.
Right.
Okay. 7?
Dude, I know.
And as we get through it here, these 7 matches don't really deserve a chant.
But again, how are these getting into the arena?
I don't know.
Fucking air horns.
If I had to guess, they're probably selling it or something. It has to be.
Really? Maybe in the for the European shows, maybe.
Yeah, like the stadium that they're in, the arena.
Because, dude, I'm telling you, I've seen at least 2 other shows where they have air horns.
Did they have it on our bonus episode? I don't remember. Well, we didn't have the volume up.
I don't.
But I don't. Know. But you would have heard that.
But I want to. Yeah, but there's a bigger show that I want to say it was either maybe SummerSlam '92 or.
Oh yeah, SummerSlam '92.
It was a big show that I remember that was in the UK, and they were doing this chant again. And when I first heard it, I thought it was like a soccer thing. Like a soccer
it might be.
Chant or something. But no, dude, it's literally an air horn. Somebody buys an air horn, and they do this beat, and then they just say the guy's name at the end.
Yeah, I think another time that I remember them doing it was like One Night Only '97.
Dude,
Bulldog and Sean.
Yes.
Bulldog!
Yes.
Like the entire time.
Yes. Maybe that's the one.
That's got to be what it is.
But yes, they definitely do it.
Yeah. But the thing with that show is that they don't do it. I don't think they do the whole show.
It's just a couple times.
It's just the Bulldog Michaels match on that
during
show.
The match. Yeah.
Meanwhile, this one is
the
entire fucking show. So. Yes. We should have done a live watch for this one to save everybody that's watching it from the fucking. God, man. Although we probably would have died doing a live watch of it.
Yeah, at least the volume would have been down.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't even heard the other stuff there. Fatu so back to the match. Fatu wastes no time and he attacks Knobs from behind. But Knobs comes back with a backdrop, and the crowd gets behind him pretty heavily, and he's just, again, soaking it up. Knobs yanks Fatu down by his hair, but then gets distracted by Afa, leading to a good-looking savant kick from Fatu, who seemingly hits that every time he throws it very well.
I was going to say, he hasn't really slipped up with it yet, which is nice.
Yeah, he hit Brett with it pretty good on Raw.
Really good. Yeah. Although they do throw it to Afa here. And he does like this ridiculous mocking dance that just had me like, what the fuck was that? Alpha was really animated this show, and I don't think it was good. I think it was a little over the top.
Well, I feel like he should be mellow.
Yes.
Like intense, but mellow. Not like...
Yes.
I know, because I remember, I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
When he's on the floor. These are, as I mentioned, there's 2 air horns that's just driving me insane. Knobs avoids a pile driver with a backdrop, but then he is sent to the floor, and Alpha decks him with a punch. Fatu scoop slams Knobs on the floor, and Knobs like bounces off. He gets like pretty good air too on the bounce there.
Yes.
Knobs comes back with a backdrop and slam in the ring, and then Knobs turns Fatu inside out with a clothesline. That's in reference to Fatu doing his normal 360 spin in midair.
Yep.
Fatu nails Knobs with another savant kick in the corner, and then pins Knobs with Alpha holding his boot over the bottom rope.
I thought right here this was a kind of a surprising 3 count. I have to be honest with you. I thought Knobs was going to win.
I didn't think so.
I don't know why. You know what? I think partially because I expected Knobs to win over Fatu here, and maybe Samu to win over whatever the other
Jerry Sags.
Because I thought that's what they were going to kind of go with for this show.
Yeah.
So I thought, opening match, Brian Knobs is kind of a pretty well-known guy.
I would have thought the same thing.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Samu would fight Jerry Sags.
Yes, that's what I thought was happening. Again, Brian Knobs does his goofy, wild, like flapping, selling in this match. He literally was playing the crowd for all it was worth, which, again, I thought was annoying. But again, I think Fatu got a pretty decent match out of Brian Knobs. Don't get me wrong, it took them a good 3 minutes to start the match. Right. So there was a lot of stalling, and believe me, this isn't the only match that sees that. But all things considered, for what this match could have been, it was a decent opener, I thought.
I was expecting it to be a lot worse than what it was.
Yes.
But I have to credit... I'm giving more of the credit to Fatu.
Considerably so.
And...
Yes.
I mean, if we were to give like an award... Like an award ceremony for the first quarter of the year... For maybe most underrated or something... In terms of in-ring and just presentation... Fatu.
Hands down.
And it's just... It's insane
like
to
an MVP almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because... he's had essentially one match on Raw with Bret Hart.
Yep.
But it's, to me, I would have to say
delivered huge.
The best Raw match to this point.
Again, I'd still call it the second best match, but it's easily, arguably, the best match that we've seen so far. So not only that, he delivered huge at WrestleMania for probably one of the best matches on that card. And really just hitting all his targets, hitting all his moves, getting the most out of a lot of people who really don't have much to offer. You have to give it up to Fatu. You have to. So don't get me wrong, Samu I think is maybe a couple levels below him, but still right there, delivering pretty well. But Fatu is just on a different level, delivery wise. So I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I've even thought, like, what if you just split these guys off?
You easily could.
So I could buy into, I think at this point, I could buy into Fatu challenging after, like, a face IC champion.
Yes.
And let's say Brett was champion, or still champion, and you really build up Fatu.
Right. Well, you'd have to. You'd have to build them up pretty good.
Yeah, but you could do that though, because the way they have is like, the Headshrinkers don't sell anything that hits their head. First off, so it's like, holy fuck, you can't really hurt this guy.
Right.
So I feel like over time that'd be pretty easy.
Well, take it a step further. What if you had Perfect capture the belt from Shawn, and Fatu chases Perfect for the IC belt? Those would be pretty damn good matches.
Well, maybe. I mean, again, I'm not a big Perfect guy.
Yeah, but I think with Fatu, he'd be able to get some good shit.
Well, Fatu, I think Fatu would bump well.
Absolutely.
And the thing is though, like, let's say you spend 6 months building up Fatu, and you have him beat Perfect for the belt. I think I could get behind that.
Absolutely.
And then, like, let's say you start off 94 with Fatu as your Intercontinental champion.
And a lot of fresh stuff you'd be getting out of that.
Sure.
A lot of fresh feuds. So that's like a win-win. You made a start.
I wonder if people are going to think we're insane for being like, Fatu, Intercontinental champion. Do it.
I'm telling you, man.
I would be sold on it.
That's a fresh star in the making.
I mean, you could have it so like Samu just turns on him, so Samu's the heel.
Sure.
You know, or whatever, however you want to go about doing it. But
maybe Samu even stays with Afa or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But I don't know. This would be a better way of using somebody compared to how Kamala's being used. Because they're like monster heel. Not monster, but they're like intense, intimidating heels.
Right.
While Kamala's a comedy act.
Right.
You know, you guys keep the same character traits or whatever. But,
I agree.
So I thought the opener was better than I expected. And but I mean, Knobs, I don't think we should discredit Knobs too much. I think he did a pretty good job of keeping the fans behind him. And
keeping them interested. Yeah. Exactly.
Coming out of that, we go backstage to Doink the Clown, and he's interviewed by Lord Alfred Hayes. Doink thinks that many people in the USA appreciate him. Or is that don't appreciate him?
They don't appreciate him because they don't appreciate humor anymore. He says that the United States these days have lost their sense of humor, and that all he does is capitalize on situations for their humor. So that's why they don't like him. He says that that's what life is all about. And it's kind of a good point. I mean, even today, I think that the United States has lost their humor quite a bit. So you almost got to kind of level with Doink there a little bit.
We're quite politically correct, I would say.
Well, we've lost quite a bit of our humor, I think.
I think you're right about that. Doink is wrestling Kamala tonight. And
yes.
Doink, oh boy. Doink notes that Kamala isn't so bright and that he might have something up his sleeve.
Yeah. Well, at first, to be fair, Doink is a little because Lord Alfred Hayes is the one who says, "Oh, you're going to be taking on Kamala tonight. What do you think about that?" And Doink gets a little perplexed because he kind of steps back a little bit. He's like, "Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's all right. I got something for him."
Right.
But he kind of still shows that a little bit. Like, hey, Kamala might still be dangerous, which is good. I think you have to.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just not buying into Kamala as a face. I'm really not.
I don't either.
When I heard this match was
I don't either.
This was happening, I was like, fuck.
I wasn't saying fuck.
I was like, God damn it.
Well, you can't reverse the roles. You can't have Doink be face and Kamala heel.
No, but I'm saying that's just a bad matchup.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I would rather have...
You ain't seeing 5-star classic.
No, I mean, I'd rather have Doink and Typhoon here than
Doink
and Kamala.
Well, because weirdly, Doink and Typhoon have, in-ring chemistry.
I want to say him.
I think they do. For bullshit matchups...
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think you enjoy some of these matches.
Probably more than you thought.
Way more than I ever thought you would.
Yeah.
For sure. Doink also talks about Crush in WrestleMania 9. And, how he beat him, blah. Seeing double, basic stuff like that. And then he goes, hey, Lord Alfred, there's something in your eye. And Lord Alfred's like, what? And he squirts water in his eye and then walks off.
Yeah. And you know what? Crush says Doink is a big man. He's a man's man. But a stupid man for sure. And again, can you really argue that?
Yeah, it's factual stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that part of the promo too, and I was like, yeah,
fair points.
That's a really good point. He is a big guy, but he is kind of dumb.
Right. Right. But yeah, the finishing with the flower squirt was perfect. I thought this was a pretty decent promo on Doink's part. I'm sure it was pretty well rehearsed. It seemed, though.
Most likely. But I think Doink's a pretty good promo.
I think so.
And I think he'll end up being one of the better ones as the year continues on.
Yes.
That leads us into our second match. And, of course, it's Doink against Kamala. Before the match even really starts, the referee found a wooden club or stick in his sleeve. So that's what he was referencing when he said that he might have something up his sleeve. He was going to hit Kamala with a stick.
Which, you know what? I like that for once the ref actually found something on a wrestler.
Yeah.
They never do that anymore. They'll just check him and pat the knee pads okay, you're good. Doink was actually hiding a weapon and hoping to use it.
Yeah. The evil fucking clown trying to hide his shit there.
I can only think of maybe one or two other times where that's actually happened, where the ref has found a weapon on somebody. And it's no, you're not using it.
Well, yeah, most of the time it's weird because most of the time that if they've ever done that is that they'll pat down the guy and then they won't find anything. They'll turn around and then the wrestler will go in his tights, take out the weapon and hide it.
Yeah.
So it's first of all, how is the referee not fired?
Right.
For clearly not
Letting
even...
a guy use a weapon.
Yeah.
Like, not
And it's like
get
in his
it.
trunks. Like if he's
Yeah.
wearing trunks, like, you know, the underwear style
Yes.
trunks.
Yes.
There's not much you have to pat down there to figure it out if there's something there.
Well, in your case, Bob, they'd have quite their hands full.
Well, I would get them for sexual assault.
Of course.
They'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a weapon.
That
I'm
ain't
like,
brass
no.
knucks, buddy.
Yeah. In 93, I'd be doing #MeToo. 25 years before the fact.
Too soon,
Too
Bob,
soon.
too soon.
Politically correct, right?
Yes,
Well,
yes.
Sorry.
I have to say, so before we get too deep into the match, Lord Alfred throws it back to Gorilla, Bobby, and Jim. Mind you, Gorilla Monsoon wasn't even on commentary.
He fucking... Wait, Lord Alfred Hayes did that?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
JR notes it. So as we return to the arena for the match,
Yeah.
JR goes, Lord Alfred Hayes is so confused by Doink. He mentioned Gorilla Monsoon, who's back in the United States. So JR just buries him right there. Like, just don't listen to Lord Alfred Hayes, guys. He's confused.
Oh, my God.
Which I thought was hilarious. Hilarious.
That's great.
But yeah, the match. So Kamala comes out. He gets a pretty mixed reaction because, again, I don't think you can necessarily boo him, and you cannot cheer him. He's Kamala. He's not a cheerable guy.
Well, yeah, it's funny you mention that because usually these England crowds are always just off the walls for guys,
Yeah.
you know. And Kamala comes out and it's just pretty much like, okay.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
if that happens to you
Very
in
indifferent.
England
Yeah.
in the early 90s,
Yeah.
you
There's
are
a
not
problem.
over.
Yeah, there's a problem.
There is a serious issue with your character.
Yeah.
I just want to note out here before we get into any of the action, or maybe this was probably during the match, but Bobby Heenan reveals the best way to beat Kamala, and it's to get 2 bowls. One that has water, and the other with dog food. And when Kamala starts to eat, you just beat him up.
What is with Bobby and animal abuse?
I don't know.
Because if you remember, I think he mentioned it about Kamala before, where if your dog is bad, you rub its nose in the poop and you put the boots to him.
Right. Yeah.
Holy fucking
I think that was on the
shit.
March to WrestleMania 9 show.
Yeah, I think, well, because maybe Kim Chi or something
Yeah,
is
yeah.
yelling at Kamala or something like that. But it's still the same stuff. And, dude, that's so bad.
Well, I
It's
mean,
so bad.
I didn't even take it like that. I took it as pretty degrading that that's how you would feed Kamala.
Oh, with dog food, like a dog.
Like a dog.
Yeah,
And then just beat the shit out of him when he gets to the food.
right. Oh, no, totally.
I
Totally.
was like, wow, Bobby.
Yeah,
That cuts pretty deep, man.
it does.
Doink had control with a wrist lock for several moments.
Yeah.
And then Kamala fights out of it and splashes Doink in the corner, causing Doink to go under the ring. Kamala goes out as well and tries to find Doink, essentially falling for the same trap that Doink always sets up.
Yeah, so Jim Ross says here, he goes, hey, is that the same guy? To which Bobby said, yeah, the black guy from Uganda.
Yeah. No!
It's fucking great.
Doink. Oh, all right.
Yeah, that's the same guy.
I'm
That's
just saying.
him. That's him.
Yeah, I remember that line.
Yeah, loved it.
So Doink comes out on the other side and then attacks Kamala as he's still searching for him. And then Doink comes off the top with an axe handle. Doink comes off the top and is met with a chop to the chest. Kamala keeps control by thrusting Doink in the throat area, followed up by a splash, but then can't figure out how to pin him. So they do the whole usual, like, oh, you gotta get him going. And then
sick
even the
of
referee's like, no, you gotta roll him over that way.
Yeah.
It's just like, guys.
I think it's overplayed at this point.
Yes.
Because even if you are that dull of a person, like you really are dull, you've had matches since then, since you've been told, hey, you got to roll him over. So, like, you know.
I mean, if I was, okay, so I'm trying to, let's just say that Kamala has the brain capacity of a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you're in kindergarten and you don't know how to put your shoes on.
Right.
So if somebody shows me how to put my shoes on like 2 or 3 times,
No, come on. It's more.
I'm gonna
than
know
that.
how to put my shoes on. I'm not saying tying them.
No, just put them on.
Just put them on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna know how to do that.
Well-
if I was a mentally handicapped 5-year-old.
Well, now let's think of it. Somebody's telling you night after night how to put your shoes on for 3 months.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You know how to put
That's
your
what I'm saying.
goddamn
I mean, I'm
shoes
saying
on.
I would be able to probably pick it up after like the second day.
Yeah.
I think, okay, I think I know. I know how to put it on.
Yeah.
I'm not. Maybe I don't know how to tie it.
Right.
I mean, I don't even know if I really technically know how to tie my shoes today at 29.
That's
years old.
asking a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it gets knotted up. I get frustrated. Sometimes I just go barefoot. I'm like, fuck
Right.
it. It's not worth my
You
time.
just pedal barefoot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or just walk barefoot.
Right.
You know, and glass, that hurts a lot, but
Anything for the love of the world.
it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know. But this just makes him look like an absolute idiot.
It's so convoluted and silly that it's embarrassing at this point.
Like the sympathy part just goes right out the window to me.
Yes.
So this leads to Kamala arguing with the referee.
Which is hilarious because
Yeah.
the referee's trying to help him get the
And then
pin.
Kamala's like, just count.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, just count.
Yep.
That leads to Doink coming up from behind and then rolls up Kamala with a handful of tights. And that gets the wind. That gets the win, not wind. That gets the win. I didn't enjoy it at all. I mean, Doink is a great character, and even on his entrance with his facial expressions and stuff, you're just like, well, that guy is doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just not being set up with very good opponents.
So here's the thing. I feel like with Doink, they are still stuck between he's a really mean clown and he's a clown, let's have a comedy match. Because this match was a basic comedy match.
I wouldn't consider it comedy.
Yeah, but it was too much. It was too ridiculous. Because there is comedy spots sprinkled throughout, and it doesn't work. Doink's character, I don't think they shouldn't be swaying more to the comedy end of Doink's character. And how they don't realize that by now, after weeks of being on TV at this point, it blows my mind. Blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, the move here would be just evil.
Exactly. Yeah. Why are you not capitalizing on that? They do it in the entrance. They play up to it on the entrance. But as soon as the match ring, and you know what it is? Whoever's helping them put the matches together is fucking them over with Doink. Because they're playing Doink like a joke. And he should not be playing it that way if you want it to get over and make money. Because I'm sorry, to me, long term, serious-wise, comedy wrestling in 1993 isn't going to make you much money.
I mean, I'm like a Jim Cornette guy in the sense of I don't think comedy wrestling really makes any money ever.
2018, I disagree with you because there's a huge market for comedy wrestling. But in 93, no way.
How is there a huge market for comedy wrestling?
Oh, there's promotions built around comedy wrestling.
Give me a break.
Well,
like what? DDT Pro?
DDT. You have fucking Chikara.
Chikara gets like 50 people.
They're still paying for a ticket, Bob.
That's not making. To me, making money is we're selling out the Garden tonight.
Oh, well, comparatively.
That to me is making money.
Comparatively, but there's still a pretty big. I'm saying compared to 93, there's a big market for comedy wrestling in 2018. Period.
I've never been I don't know, man. I've never been a comedy.
Well, I'm not saying that I am. I can appreciate comedy wrestling.
I don't even know if I can do that because to me, wrestling isn't supposed to be funny.
It's not.
You know,
at the essential level, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I do. You know, is there promotions and matches out there that are comedy based that I really enjoy? Absolutely. I'm a big Kikutaro fan. Kishimbo Kamen, which is like a Japanese guy who's comedy based exclusively. But they mix in good wrestling, and that's the difference. Here, we ain't seeing good wrestling. It's shitty wrestling with comedy sprinkled in, and it just doesn't come off good in 1993.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure if I could even name any comedy wrestler. Like, literally
Joey
ever.
Ryan, I'd say, is a comedy guy.
Yeah, but he actually has talent.
Well, right. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
And even that, though, what he's doing now, like, that's played out.
I agree. I agree.
The first probably year that he was doing what he was doing.
Well, what about Colt Cabana?
Cool. Never really been a Colt Cabana guy.
Me neither.
But he also has ability.
And he makes money with his wrestling.
Right, but, I mean, he's a more than capable performer.
Yes.
Just the comedy part. Like,
that's where I think...
If you see Colt Cabana, or a guy like Colt Cabana at an independent show, like, one time is good enough. Same thing with Joey Ryan. Like, if I saw him flipping a guy with his dick once, I'm not coming in again next month to see him do it.
Yeah, but if you're a comedy wrestling guy, that he might be your guy. You might really like him. That's what I'm saying. I think there's more. Again, I think there's more of a market for it in 2018. There's definitely ways you can make money with comedy wrestling. But again, in 1993, with a character like Doink, it's completely the wrong direction.
Right, but then so I'm just thinking about it now, and thinking about pro wrestling now and the comedy wrestling, and then you're trying to say that Doink is more of a comedy wrestler.
Well, they're trying.
Are they though? Because I mean,
they are in ring. They are.
He's hitting guys with fake arms. That's not funny. That's him just beating the shit out of somebody with.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous though.
Yeah, but ridiculous and comedy are two different things.
I don't know because
I don't think if I saw Doink the Clown hitting Crush with a fake arm.
We laughed about it when we talked about it, Bob.
Did we?
We did.
Yeah, but I don't. But it's not a comedy spot to me. It's like, oh, that's
maybe not a spot.
That's ridiculous that they would think that. Because, okay, I think we were laughing more of how they were doing it on commentary.
Yeah.
Oh, he ripped his arm out of his socket.
Well, right.
Like that's ridiculous.
Right. But they're playing that up as serious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So it's not comedy.
Yeah, but it's comical because they're playing it up as a serious thing.
It's not even comedy in the sense of him. Well, I guess if you comedy spot, like putting the pie in Bartlett's face, that's comedy, but that's not wrestling.
So you're saying if Doink ripped his arm off and then maybe spanked Crush's ass with it,
yes,
before he hit him,
right?
Then it's a comedy spot.
Yeah. So like if Crush turns his back, he rips it off and he's just like, boo, boo.
He spanks him and then
Crush turns around like, what the fuck was that? And then he hits him. Yes, you're gonna be like, oh, he smacked him on the ass with a fake arm.
And
instead,
I get that.
He's ripping off his arm and he's like, oh, boom, you're done.
Yes, but again, I think when you're teetering with Doink to comedy or serious evil clown, more times than not here, I feel like they're tipping it towards the comedy silly clown thing.
I'm not really buying into that because you have.
Well, look at WrestleMania. You have a double Doink. I mean, how?
That's not funny.
Yeah, but I think that's like, haha, there's two clowns.
I would kind of consider. Well, I just kind of drifted. I think it'd be kind of more spooky.
I don't know, man.
Okay, let me just so the promo there with Lord Alfred Hayes. Okay.
Yeah.
So at the end, he squirts him with water.
Right.
Now, is that funny or is that him being a douchebag?
I don't know.
I think it's him being a douchebag. Because he's squirting, he's like, yeah.
Maybe
just squirting in the face with water.
Maybe it's the way I interpret it because
I think we're just interpreting it two different ways.
Yes, and I think you can.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think you can interpret it because if I'm watching in the live crowd, and let's say they throw this promo on the big screen or something, I'm laughing at the fact that Lord Alfred Hayes just got squirted in the face with water.
Right, but then I could see myself laughing as well, but not in the sense of like, oh my god, that's pretty funny. I'd be like laughing like, oh wow, that Doink is a fucking douchebag.
See, I don't know.
I think
that's how you would take it.
That's how I would take it.
Yeah, I would take it more or less as like, oh, haha, what an idiot Lord Alfred Hayes is. He just got squirted with the fake.
Right.
Flower.
So that's all. Yeah. So that's all about interpretation.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So if we're in the arena, let's say there's 12,000 people there. I mean, I could see it being 50-50. Where something like 6,000 are thinking, oh, dude, that Donk's a douchebag. And then the other 6,000, oh, Lord Alfred Hayes got water
he's
face.
making everybody look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is good. With a character like Doink, you can't be split. You know what I mean? It can't be really open to interpretation because if you're moving forward with him being a serious heel, he's got to be serious heel. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he's a clown. You have to have some clown tendencies there.
No, you're right. I know.
So it'd be similar to like making a balloon dog for somebody and then popping it.
Right.
That's funny, and it's also a douchebag thing to do.
Right. No,
you know what I mean?
That's true.
So I
get your point there.
I think in some ways you have to keep true to the character.
Right. Where you don't want to stray off too far into seriousness because then it's like, okay, why is he a clown then?
Then it's just Matt Bourne. Like, because then it would just be Matt Bourne, the guy playing the character, instead of Doink.
Which I would like more anyway. But
well, I think in the ring we get Matt Bourne.
Yes, because he busts out some wrestling moves and stuff, which is good.
And then the promo stuff is mostly Doink. Like the character Doink, not Matt Bourne.
Yes.
Matt Bourne is in ring.
Facial.
Yep. And then promos and segments and stuff is the clown.
Yeah.
And then he proves in the ring that he's more than just a clown.
Right.
So I think that's how they're angling it.
That's fair.
That's how I'm interpreting it.
That's fair. Which I guess I would want more Matt Bourne than they're kind of letting show through.
I'm enjoying Doink.
Well, me too.
Don't get me wrong.
Me too. But I don't want him to fall to the wayside because of this. I'm afraid of it.
He needs that big feud. And I think they were trying that with him in Crush.
Right.
And that, I would say, fell flat.
It flopped.
But the reason for that, though, is because to me, he's Crush.
I agree.
And like I mentioned before, early on, I was like, I think I can get into this Crush guy. And that's already teetering. And I think he might be killed off really at this point right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to think about the people that Doink has been involved with. So you have Crush, you have Typhoon and Kamala.
Yeah.
Essentially, you're all the guys that he's fought.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to get classics out of any of that.
No.
You know?
Right.
I mean, try to have a promo or war with Typhoon.
And I guess,
give me a break.
To your point, how can you take Doink seriously when he's facing a guy like Kamala?
Right.
You can't.
Give me Doink against Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a big Perfect guy, but...
Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be intrigued by it.
But on the other hand, can you do Doink and Undertaker?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that would be interesting just because you're going to have...
It's a dead man and a clown.
Right. But that's what the era is. But so you have, Doink, let's say you could have most of that interaction be Doink and Paul Bearer.
Well, like what? Like Doink's playing tricks on Paul Bearer or something?
Well, you can do something with the urn.
Right.
First off.
Right.
Let's say...
There's like bubbles in the urn instead of ashes.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah. I mean, how many heels throughout the years have taken the urn?
Right.
Okay. So let's say Doink were to take the urn from the Undertaker or from Paul Bearer. And then he comes back and he opens the urn for Bearer at ringside for a squash match or something that Undertaker's in, and he goes to throw it, and he throws his confetti in it.
Right.
Instead of ashes. So it's like, well, what did he do with the stuff that was in it?
Right.
Or whatever.
Because we know that's not what was in it.
Right. I mean, there's definitely ways of doing it.
It would be tough, I think.
Yeah, it would.
But I guess I could see that.
And I think that would be a feud or a match where I don't think Doink would get a lot in.
Yeah.
Offensively.
Well, you almost can't.
Yeah.
In that situation.
Yeah, I mean that'd be a weird match to see.
I know.
Taker versus Doink.
But that's the point. You almost got to play to the character's strengths instead of his weaknesses. I think matches like Kamala expose the weaknesses of a Doink character rather than accentuating them.
Yeah, I mean that's why I think Doink versus Perfect or Doink versus Brett or like a Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
That would be, or the Steiners. One of the Steiners, Scott or Rick.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing Scott Steiner throw around Doink the Clown. To be honest with you, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be good. Because you can play into the fact that Scott Steiner's a hothead too. Like he just has no patience for this fucking clown. And that would be hilarious.
Well, in one of I do a rebooking thing for my website there, but at one point I did like a tag team with Doink with Bill DeMott.
As humorous? Or?
Right, humorous. But his name was Huey the Clown.
Right. Yeah.
So it'd be like, you have two guys doing a clown gimmick.
Still kind of nuts though.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, like with Hugh Morris, is Huey the Clown, he's always laughing.
Yeah.
Similar to what Doink does.
Right.
And he's like always, and he stops.
Right.
So it's like that dynamic there.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, Hugh Morris can do a pretty sick top rope moonsault. So,
right.
For a big guy.
Right. And Doink is technically sound. Matt Bourne is technically sound. He shows that in the matches. Yep. So that would have been interesting to see.
I mean, you could even realistically, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just have the two Doinks as a tag team.
Right.
Him and Steve Kern.
Right, you could.
Or Brawler, whichever one. Probably Kern.
Yeah. I think for the character-wise, yes.
There just had to be a way to distinguish them.
Yeah.
Because they look alike.
Pretty damn good.
Like, you can tell apart the Headshrinkers.
Yes.
The Natural Disasters.
Yes.
Or whichever.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of difficult for the Doinks. But, I mean, that makes it even that much better. Because you're like, oh, which one is this one?
Right, that's the point.
If they swap out, it's like, I don't know which one is which.
Well, and they even tease that in this match. It's like, well, who is this guy? Is this the real one or the other one?
Yeah, and the thing, I remember reading The Observer, then you had mentioned, like, oh, I wonder if they have one guy, like, in Philly, another guy in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
And the thing, they do that.
That's awesome.
Like there's one guy in France and there's one guy in Sacramento.
Yeah, I think that's
Which
awesome.
is perfect. I mean,
yeah. How could you not do that?
Yeah, it makes the most sense. If you created a gimmick where
Right.
you can run that gimmick in 2 different areas at the same time.
The fuck yeah.
And nobody know or
Put it
tell
this
which one is
way,
which.
if WWF in 2001 could clone The Rock and have The Rock go to 2 different cities, you're damn right they would be.
Well, they did. Rikishi.
Oh, there you go. He did it for The Rock.
I did it for you, brother.
Good lord.
Okay, so after that kind of a train wreck of a match, we go backstage where Mr. Perfect is interviewed. And he says he's confident and focused on his upcoming match. And then talks about Lex Luger. And then not forgetting what Luger did to him at WrestleMania in reference to the running forearm that knocked him out. And, he still feels kind of woozy and he's got some knots on his head. And I kind of chuckled when he was like, oh, I'm focused on this match. And then he turns his attention to Lex Luger.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Something with Perfect, the last couple of times he's been with a microphone, he gets very, like, kerfluffled.
Oh, my God, yes.
And it's just, it goes off the rails, and then he just, all right, I got to go to my match.
Yeah.
Because he realizes it's kind of unraveling. I don't know what it is with him.
I feel like he's like in an angle that he doesn't care about.
And it shows through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would have to think, and I think from a personal perspective, if I was being booked in this feud with Luger, which has had 0 promotion
Right.
or hype, like they clearly don't give a hell about it.
Right.
I'm gonna be like, why the fuck should I care?
Right. So you're getting like what, bare minimum?
Oh
or-
yeah. Oh yeah. And I feel like he has. I mean, he hasn't done anything that's.
Right.
I mean, at WrestleMania 9, he stumbled over the guy's name.
Yeah.
Lex Narcissus. Fuck it, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's kind of the same thing here. I mean, he kind of loses his point, and then it's like, I gotta get to
I
my
gotta
match.
go to the ring.
Yes.
This is that type of, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. I think he's just not committed to what they're booking him in.
Which is bad because the crowd is still majorly reacting to Mr. Perfect. Majorly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, I'm maybe halfway there.
And I'm
I
thinking,
like Mr. Perfect,
I'm
but...
thinking it might have a lot to do with stuff in the past. Like, to me, maybe Mr. Perfect's still getting that, nostalgia pop.
I think he is.
Yeah,
Which,
He just came back in November.
Right.
In terms of in-ring.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he just retired Ric Flair.
Right.
But, to me, he hasn't had anything stand out.
Well, right. Other than that, what have you done for me lately?
Right.
Nothing.
Exactly. It's kind of like Andre the Giant in 90, 91.
Right, he's still riding that.
Oh, yeah, Andre,
Yeah,
but he's
high.
not that great anymore.
Right.
I'm kind of thinking Mr. Perfect's not that great anymore.
I see that argument.
I mean, we've had this talk before. I mean, I think
know.
AWA stuff is obviously drastically different. And I think when he first gets in the WWF,
right,
it's different.
Right.
But right now, it's like treading water. He's not doing nothing.
I will meet you at the fact that he's on a decline.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, which is really alarming, is that he was normally pretty strong with promos, and even that's suffering.
Yes.
So then there's no redeeming.
Well, that's the thing that's weird. It's like, so his in-ring stuff is still pretty solid. I'd say
solid but boring.
Not as good as it used to be.
Yeah, but I would say solid but boring. For me,
redundant.
Yeah,
we've seen that.
The same thing over and over.
But he would always, like you said, he'd always be able to deliver on the microphone. Dude, it ain't there anymore.
But
it's not there.
But you know why he could deliver on the microphone? Because he was a heel.
Well, that makes.
I think he's playing a face role that he doesn't want to maybe do.
That makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I don't think.
Because, like we've talked about before, Mr. Perfect is a heel gimmick.
Yeah,
he's perfect and reminds you of that.
Maybe if he were to turn, obviously his face. So maybe since you turned face, maybe you should be like, I'm Mr. Average.
No, just Kurt Hennig.
Or Kurt Hennig.
Yeah,
I think Mr. Average is better.
I think he'd get booed. That sounds like a heel name.
Mr. Average?
Oh, fuck this guy. He's average.
I want Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. This guy thinks he's perfect. I can't win. I can't win.
You just can't win.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Okay,
so after that little interview segment, we go to our third match. And if you're, I guess seeing the trend here, as soon as somebody's interviewed, they're actually up to fight, seemingly.
Yes.
And it is Mr. Perfect, and he's taking on one half of the Headshrinkers, Samu. And I have it noted here at the end of it, but I might as well say it right now. Why don't you just have Fatu against Perfect, and then Samu against Brian Knobs?
Dude, it's such a missed opportunity. Why did they do
I am
that?
legitimately thinking, I remember as I was watching, I was like, maybe these guys wrote down on the sheet the wrong names. They're like, who's the younger one?
Too late to change it.
Yeah, who's the younger one? Samu, I think. Okay, great. He'll face Perfect tonight. Who's the other older one? Fatu. Yeah, okay. He'll face Knobs. And then they go out there and like, oh fuck,
Who's the wrong guy?
that's Fatu. Shit.
That's funny. Who knows, man? Who knows?
Somebody asked Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, let us know. Although, lucky for us, the air horns returned in a big way for this match.
Yeah.
Really annoying. Although, you know what? To Samu's credit, the match started off with some really good wrestling spots, and the pace was like lightning quick. So, compared to the last couple of matches we've seen, we're right back in it with the action. Which is, like, awesome. Hopefully we'll be pleasantly surprised.
I mean, I recall, like, Perfect being like a house of fire.
Yes. Well,
on Samu.
Yeah, and Samu was bumping for him, like, really good.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, I remember like, Perfect coming off the ropes with a crossbody, arm drag, and drop kick, and Samu quickly.
Yep.
I was like, oh, okay, great.
Well, it kind of works the crowd back into the show. Because it was getting to the point where I feel like the crowd was starting to dip out a little bit. And I think this match was able to kind of snap them back into it.
I think that was the goal of it, too.
I think it delivered on that.
Because I would say Fatu Knobs was like a little tick up.
Yes.
Then Doink Kamala was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then this match was like, let's bring him up.
Don't give up on us yet.
Yeah, we got some more stuff coming for you.
Yes.
I think that's definitely an accurate assumption. Samu stops Perfect's momentum with a clothesline, and then he comes off the apron with an axe handle, and then rams Perfect's face first into the ring steps a few times. Samu misses a knee strike in the corner, and then Perfect focuses his attack on the left knee. And I didn't write it down, but like I think you really are accurate with this. They don't work the right side of the body.
Really?
Yeah, because you were like they never.
I'm telling you, I think that's a thing.
I know. I'm saying I think you're right.
I don't know. I can't.
I have yet to see anybody work over the right knee or right shoulder of anybody. It's always the left side. I don't understand.
I think, well, because I want to say somebody talked about it before, and it's the easiest way to pick out a jabroni who thinks they're a wrestler and somebody who is a wrestler. And if you're working the right side, you come off looking like a jabroni. Because it's an unwritten rule.
But how would I don't understand?
I don't know.
That's
I don't know.
weird.
It's a weird thing, and we need to look it up and like confirm it or not.
Or somebody let us know.
Yeah,
Like,
but
is that a thing?
I'm pretty sure that that's a thing. I'm pretty sure. Going back a little bit though, fucking Samu smashed Perfect's face into them steps. Like it sounded and looked really good. I thought.
I mean, is that smashing him, or is that just Perfect putting his forearms up?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like it looked really good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a visual of it.
Yes.
I kind of wish that the guys would not put their hands up and just take one for the team.
Oh, straight forehead.
Yeah.
Oof.
I think I would do that if it was like WrestleMania.
Well, okay.
And there it is, like, dude, just
Full.
drill
Yeah.
it.
Go for it.
If I get a concussion, fuck it.
Well, because what? Those steps are aluminum.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably get a headache,
Yeah.
but I don't think it would hurt that bad.
Right.
Like
Dent them pretty good.
like the ring post, no. Like that would probably break my face.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Ring steps though, like
You could probably get away with
they're
it.
kind of hollow looking too. I don't think.
Majorly hollow.
Yeah, I don't think it would hurt.
Although
that
in
bad.
'93, are they that hollow? I don't know. They might not be.
Well, yeah, because aren't they like blue?
Yeah,
I think they're like
pretty
a solid,
thick.
thick one. Because
Yeah.
once they get to the silver ones,
Oh my
pretty
god!
hollow.
Yeah, they're wicked thin.
Yeah, They just go flying. They don't
Right.
Get into them.
Right.
So Samu drops Perfect with a standing kick right on the jaw.
Mm-hmm.
Not as good as Fatu, but pretty close.
Pretty good.
For a near fall.
Yeah.
Perfect fights back with strikes, and then an eye rake stops him. Perfect gets dumped to the floor, and then Samu sends Perfect shoulder first into the post. Samu delivers a headbutt to the lower midsection of Perfect, and then they just trade strikes like in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, and then it got to a point.
Going
Samu.
right at it.
Yeah, they were going right at it. To the point where Samu kind of bit Perfect's face, like out of desperation.
Cut him off.
And Bobby just goes, "Oh, the Headshrinkers, they'll eat anything. They like metal shavings, cardboard, It's like, what the fuck is Bobby Heenan talking about here?
Well, that is kind of true because I remember. I don't know, maybe if it's in '93, but when the Headshrinkers first debut were, like, they're always eating chicken or fish. It was weird.
Yeah, but that's food.
I know, but it looked like trash.
Oh.
Just the way, like not cooked.
Oh. So like scramblings,
like raw food,
like shitty food.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like that's how.
Well, because when he said that, I was like, "What? Where's this coming from?"
I don't think it's been presented as that in like '93.
Okay.
They might be steering away from that.
Right.
Perfect was getting the better of the exchange, and then Samu delivers a low blow. Perfect almost wins the match with inside cradle, and then Perfect pulls Samu to the corner and then wraps his leg around the post. Samu comes back with a slam and a falling headbutt. Samu misses a top rope headbutt attempt, and then Perfect wins the match with a perfect plex.
Place went nuts for that, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I thought it was. Oh, and I don't even know if it was okay. I thought it was mediocre. I mean, I don't think it was incredible. It went 13 minutes or something like that. I think that's insane. That was a bit.
That
much.
was a C match.
Yeah,
I'd
that's
say.
fair.
My biggest critique for this match is that there was too much bailing to the outside. Like, Perfect got thrown to the outside way too much. There was a lot of filler.
I was gonna say that's usually a sign of killing time.
Yeah, and you know what? It kind of killed the match for me, honestly, because though I was happy with the performance of Samu, like I thought he didn't necessarily disappoint me. It was more or less perfect, really, because we didn't get a lot from him.
No.
He's mailing it in. And I think it shows in this match. I think it shows in, again, his performance. Is the crowd pumped to see him hit a perfect plex and get a pin? Absolutely they are.
But that's like it, though.
Exactly. And that's the problem. C grade match at best. Again, would have been much better with Fatu in there, because I think Fatu would have been able to light a fire under Perfect. And I don't know. It was bittersweet.
Well, I think his offense would be more impactful anyway.
Absolutely.
And like more fire behind it.
Yes.
I think I have the same mindset with you on that match. Kind of slightly middle of the road.
Yes.
But I mean, just if it was maybe they cut like 5 minutes off of it, it'd probably be a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But
sure.
They decided, hey, let's go 13 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out of there, we go to our fourth match of the night. It's Damian Demento against Bob Backlund.
Dude, I wanted to fast forward so
fucking
bad.
Literally wrote down, do I have to sit through this?
Literally, dude, I almost fast forwarded it. I'll be right up honest with you.
I'll be right honest with you with saying that I did not pay attention much to this whatsoever.
Yeah.
Demento avoids Backlund early on and then talks to this guy, saying that Backlund will suffer Demento's devastation. How is that not like a talk show segment on Raw?
Or like a shirt. Can you imagine a shirt for
Yeah,
Damian
just like a whole bunch of questions in his head, just going like, what? I
would have bought that.
I would have bought that too.
Yeah.
I should make that a fucking shirt.
I really, speaking of what people were talking about and saying, Bobby says here that he wouldn't be caught dead talking to Bob Backlund because he's boring. Bob Backlund is the type of guy, according to Bobby Heenan, that goes to parties to hang out in the coat closet and memorize the labels. JR disagreed, but not me. I think that sums up Bob Backlund fucking perfectly. Because I could definitely see him doing that.
I could see like Bob Backlund in high school doing that.
Yeah.
Being like, hey man, do you know how many Calvin Klein jackets are in there?
Yeah. Guess how many?
24.
Yeah.
Hey, what? Yeah, dude, I'm so cool. All right, see you later. I'm going to go back in the closet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That kind of set the tone for this match for me. You could see a lot of fans walking around, heading to the merch, going to the snack stands, or the shitters for sure. Just a clear and blatant filler match.
I just think it's hilarious that the WWF spent a ticket to send Demento to England.
Yes.
For a tour.
Right.
Who the hell in England's like, I want to see Damian Demento?
Right. How many tickets did that guy sell?
Yeah.
None.
Insane. I wonder if this is why he won a match on Raw.
To build up to this tour.
Yeah.
It could be, man.
Hey, man, Demento, he beat that Brunzel.
Yeah, do you like that? Get ready. He's going to be in the UK.
He's got Bob Backlund.
Fucking
Who knows?
A.
I literally wrote, they're not doing anything holding my interest whatsoever, and that Backlund won with his roll-up with a back bridge.
Yeah, so,
That's his go-to move these days.
Oh, yeah, literally. So I got a little bit more than you did.
I'm glad you do.
So early on here, Backlund got Demento out on the floor. And again, Demento spoke to the sky. And we noted that he said that Backlund would suffer Demento's devastation. Which, again, ridiculous. I was hoping the second half of the card at this point was going to be much better than the first. Because we really needed that. This match was boring as hell. It was like basic body slams, axe handles, scoop slams. And a lot of the offense was on the part of Damien Demento, which I was kind of surprised by. Backlund found himself in a 3-minute chin lock and fading fast, just like me. And Bobby said he could out-wrestle Backlund, which I believe him at this point because I fucking hate Bob Backlund. Demento stayed ahead of Backlund for the majority of this one, hitting again boring, slightly sloppy offensive maneuvers. And when Bob was getting hit here, he was going like, whoa, like Popeye noises. Like, what the fuck is that?
I feel like he's been doing that for a while, or like he does that moving forward.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Speaking of stupid, we got another chin lock. Yeah, seriously, another chin lock. After a few shuffling moves, Backlund pinned Demento after he reversed the clothesline and basically rolled him up. Literally, Bob, I finished it with, that was brutal. Such a detriment to the card. I'm sorry, it is. You want to kill a crowd? Put that on. You want to kill my excitement for recording a podcast and having people listen to it? Put that on.
Remember when we were trying to think of guys that we could probably fire to maybe keep Ric Flair? Well, there's 2 of them.
Yep.
Right there. And I think as we continue on, there's probably about 2 other guys that realistically we could probably get rid of. And
probably much more than that.
Not really bat an eye at. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about that, man.
You can tell how much you liked it because you didn't write any notes about it.
I literally didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I vaguely remember the slams and stuff like that, but
it's basic
I just
shit.
didn't care.
Basic.
Yeah. I tend to write down stuff that's interesting, at least, or something.
That's something worth talking about.
Yeah. I mean, Demento being like, here's a scoop slam, then a 4-minute chin lock. It's like,
Bob, you literally could have took this match and photoshopped in 2 job guys' faces, and you would have never known the difference. There was no, like, outstanding offense or anything to set
or
this
like a
match
trademark
apart.
move.
Nothing. Just basic, fucking boring as hell.
And the crowd is, I think they kind of popped just because it was over.
Probably.
Not because they're heavy Bob back on. They're just like, yeah, great. What's next?
Yeah.
Well, what's next is a backstage segment, and it's Mr. Perfect.
Yeah,
he's back to talk again.
Yeah.
He talks about his health, which he had already, I guess, talked about, and it says that Lex Luger will be getting the payback that Perfect is looking for. They will be wrestling on the remainder of the tour. He had mentioned that they'll be wrestling in like London or something like that. So.
Yeah. Well, he says, right. So
God forbid we get that match, here.
No, of course not.
On a televised show, but it's okay.
Right. So yes, Perfect basically says he plans on getting his revenge for WrestleMania, which prompts Lord Alfred Hayes to say, well, thus far, Luger has looked better than Perfect, which...
Perfect's like taken aback by that,
kind of fair. And so, okay, yes. Yeah. Perfect was taken back and even kind of goes, excuse me? Because I feel like he wasn't really ready for that one. He responds to say, there's only one Mr. Perfect, and that's me. Luger is just making empty claims, and that he is going to find out who is perfect and who is not. And then he walks out. I think you can see the cracks in the armor through Mr. Perfect. Because really, that's kind of a fair point, though Luger hasn't done very much. To me, he's looking better than Perfect right now.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
You can't really argue that. And I think they kind of play to that with Perfect reacting the way he does. Like, what? No, I'll show you. I promise I'll show you. So he's already fighting from underneath, I think.
Yeah, I agree, but it makes me want. I mean, on this show alone, it's gotten probably 4 times the amount of promotion that it had gotten for WrestleMania 9.
Yes.
Before WrestleMania 9.
Yes.
So, like, why can't we have any of this stuff
Before WrestleMania
leading
9.
up to WrestleMania 9?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make. I don't know. It just doesn't make much sense to me.
Well, you know what I think? I think it was a slap together, and now they're trying to make something out of nothing. That's what it seems
And you know what? And it's probably another way because again, this is a televised show,
right?
so probably people in the surrounding areas. If there's a match with Luger and Perfect,
They're trying to get you to
trying
tune in,
get them
trying to
into
sell
the arena,
tickets. Yeah.
things like that. Coming out of that promo, we got our 5th match of the night, and boy, is it a barn burner. Meaning, I would just want to burn down the barn. It's Typhoon and the Brooklyn Brawler.
To be fair, Typhoon got a decent reaction when he came out.
I was kind of thinking maybe the fans had the mindset of, oh, it's going to be Earthquake. And then it's Typhoon.
Oh my god, that would be funny. Well, because it's the same music.
That stuff happens.
It's the same music.
Like like we've mentioned before on the bonus show, Jim Neidhart. Would get a pop, but it was because people thought it was Brett. And when they noticed it was Jim Neidhart, they'd be like,
right.
We don't care.
Right. I expected this one to be very quick. I wasn't sure what the point of this one was going to be. Brooklyn Brawler has no point in anything. So,
I mean, these guys don't even have any backstory and anything.
There's nothing.
The only thing I can think of is for Typhoon.
Yeah.
Like, do they have a plan for Typhoon or something?
I just feel like this was a waste of a spot. Like, you could have done something else here. So anyway, we'll get into the match a little bit. I'm sure I have more notes than you do.
Yeah, go ahead. You can take control of this one.
So Brawler ducks Typhoon a couple of times to start out the match. And Typhoon, of course, just kind of pushes him around, pushes him out of the ring through the second rope. The typical big guy stuff. Brawler returned to the ring and kind of got in some, a little offensive success. But Typhoon was able to hit a big drop kick, and Brawler started heading to the back, like he was going to throw the match out. Of course, he changed his mind and made his way back. I wish he wouldn't have. He should have just left, but of course, we're not that lucky. This was a big mistake, him returning to the ring, as he was taken down with ease, once again, on the part of Typhoon. But he was again able to get the upper hand momentarily, as he attempted to keep Typhoon on the mat with some basic maneuvers. He risked disqualification a lot here. He was using the ropes for a lot of stuff. Basic cheating stuff. Bobby calls Typhoon buffoon and says that he makes a lot of money. He could make a lot of money with Typhoon. And then JR is kind of like, oh, well, how? Like, what would you do? And Bobby just says, by letting the kids ride him around the local strip mall for a few pounds, which is British currency, a pop. Which is... You're burying Typhoon there. So again, Brawler's using the hair, illegal chokes, the eyes, basic stuff. So every time the Brawler screamed at the ref, though, his voice echoed around the arena. So he was yelling loud as fuck. And if I'm Typhoon and he's in my ear, I would have been pissed off. Like, shut up. Brawler's just trying to get himself over, though. That's what it is.
Yeah, but is it echoing because the crowd's dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly the problem. Although the crowd did will Typhoon back to his feet, enough for him to hit a big scoop slam and a corner avalanche. He finished Brawler off with a big power slam, and the crowd was happy to see this one finish. Again, I think it was not necessarily a pop for Typhoon, but a pop for the match to be over.
I feel like we've said that about 3 times now.
On this card, yes.
And we're 5 matches in, so you can pretty much get an idea of how well this show is going. I thought it was just ridiculous. This whole match. I mean, I don't know why. A slow, plotting match, nothing really going on. And you mentioned the finish. I think God was over. That's all I got. I mean, there's just no reason.
I don't know what was worse, this match or the... Well, you know what? The Bob Backlund Mento match was worse.
That was worse, yeah.
But this is pretty damn close.
Well, remember when we were, I was talking about how they had a tour, in January, right? Or something like that? And then they're coming back in April and then November. And we were like, wow. 20 dates in April or whatever it was.
Yeah.
There's, they got a pretty good crowd for this show.
Coming out for WrestleMania.
Yeah, but we're using this crew of guys,
Yeah.
and they're still getting good crowds. Could you imagine if they're like, oh, here's all of our guys?
Right, here comes Money Inc.
Yeah.
And they're facing, whoever.
This time, the Mega Maniacs in a rematch.
Right.
Why don't you this should have been arguably
stacked.
Yeah, this to me, what I would have done is most just be WrestleMania rematches.
Yes.
But with finishes that should have been on the pay-per-view. So clean finishes.
Yes. I agree. I think up until this point, I was starting to check out at this point. I think by now, I was like, holy shit, I don't know if it's going to get any better.
I was checking out when Typhoon was making his entrance.
Yes.
I was teetering after Perfect Samu. I was like, okay, that was okay. Demento Backlund, I'm like, fuck.
Yes.
And then when I see Typhoon coming out, I'm like, oh,
it's two double whammies back to back.
I was like, how much more time do I got?
Yeah.
Before this is over with.
Yep.
Coming out of that amazing match, we go backstage where Lex Luger is interviewed, and he puts over his looks and says everyone wants to talk about him. He heard about Perfect whining about his elbow, and he's going to put Perfect out for good in the UK.
Yeah, and kind of expanding on that promo a little bit, Luger says when you look like he does, everybody wants a shot at you, which I thought was kind of prolific and true. Luger also says that he can make or break a career, and says that Perfect moaning and groaning about what happened to him at WrestleMania is only the beginning, because he has him in a one-on-one match all across the United Kingdom.
Right.
Which is important because he then goes on to say he's been licking his chops at the chance, as if Perfect thought he got his brain scrambled at WrestleMania. He's going to put him out of wrestling for good in the UK.
So I just want to give a comparison here of how much I cared about what's going on in the show, that I had 2 lines of the promo and you basically did verbatim.
Well, here's why, though. Here's why. That was a good Lex Luger promo.
Sound the fucking alarms. What? Are you
Bear with me.
Hang on a minute. No, hang on. I'm happy right now. Are you putting over the narcissist Lex Luger?
That promo was a good promo.
Holy.
You know why?
Holy shit.
You know why?
Why?
Here's why.
Because of Shawn Michaels?
Well, but here's why. Perfect has been on this show, 4 times we've seen him? Or something like that?
Perfect, yeah. 3?
3. I didn't give a fuck about anything Perfect said. Nothing. Luger gets this one promo here, and I'm already bought back in on the feud.
So Luger's carrying it. You know what? And I bet you it's because Luger's probably sold on the feud because it's benefiting him.
Not only that, I think Luger has more of a chance to succeed in this feud than Perfect does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, coming out of this feud, it's a positive for Luger, a negative for Perfect.
Well, you know what? And here's another aspect of it, is I've never gotten the vibe from Luger, whether it's as a performer or wrestler, that he necessarily cares if he wins or loses matches.
Yes.
He's just in it for money.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Meanwhile, Perfect, he might care if he
cares about
matches.
the wrestling.
Yeah. So Luger's probably like, I don't fucking, if I lose every match, if I'm getting my, $750,000 or whatever he's making, then he doesn't care.
Right.
Kind of like Scott Hall. Like Scott Hall never cared if he lost a match.
Or Nash, even Nash.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I guess Nash didn't really
care. Now, don't get me wrong. I think this was probably another pretty rehearsed promo. Because the other times we've had Luger on the mic, he's kind of tripped up a little bit too.
Yeah, but I remember watching it. He seemed more at ease or uncomfortable with his character.
Which leads me to thinking that this was probably a little bit laid out for him. Well, that's why I'm thinking he was so comfortable. But nonetheless, this was a good promo. He delivered it well. And again, compared to all the times we've seen Perfect tonight, this attributed to the feud, which is like what you want to do.
Right.
So I'll give it to him.
And I guess a little tease here. On the next episode of IcoPod, I will probably have results for their match
Yeah.
throughout the rest of the tour. So stay tuned
All right.
to see how that plays out.
I'm interested
over
in
in
that.
the UK.
I'm interested in that.
We move on to our 6th match on the show. It is WWF Intercontinental Champion Shawn Michaels defending against Kona Crush.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am not sure how Crush gets a title shot, despite losing to Doink the Clown at WrestleMania.
Not only that.
Don't know how.
Yeah. So not only that, I'm interested to see what we get from Crush following WrestleMania. Like, he just lost to a clown. Let's see what happens here. Like, where does he go from here? This is kind of the first test.
Right, but I don't understand. Like, it blows my mind. Why wouldn't you just have him beat Doink?
If he's going to be fighting the IC champion.
Yeah, like if your mindset is, okay, after Mania,
right,
we're going to have Crush feud with Shawn. Okay, that's great in theory, but the guy just lost to Doink the Clown.
Yes, that's the problem.
Like, what? What are we doing?
Yeah, that's the problem. I think it undercuts Doink considerably. I think it just goes to show that whole feud, they still don't know what's going on. Like, they're not sure. They're not sold on Doink. They're not sold on Crush. I think it's kind of becoming a pain in the ass probably for the booking team at this point to figure out anything for both of them.
Well, I mean, okay, so Doink is on the show against Kamala.
Exactly.
Okay, he won at WrestleMania. He fights Kamala.
Right.
Why don't we just have Shawn versus Doink? You could have... This is in England, okay? It's televised only in England.
Right.
It's not like it's all over the globe and not like a whole bunch of people are going to see it the day that it's recorded. Why not have it Michaels against Doink, and then one of them, for the match, can have like a face tendency? And I would lean towards probably Shawn having the face tendency.
I am so glad you brought that up. Because when Shawn came out, he was getting cheered huge.
There you go.
He was getting cheered.
There you go.
Flat out. It seems like a natural direction. And yet, here's Crush. I'm right there with you with being very confused on how that makes sense on any level. I don't get it.
I don't know, man. Like I'm just like trying to think of ways to like shuffle this card around. You put Doink with Shawn and then have Crush against like Demento or something.
Right.
And then Typhoon. I
Or
don't
even
even
Crush against Brawler.
Yeah, Crush against Brawler or something like and then Typhoon against Demento, and then Backlund can just go fuck off.
Yeah, go back to the old folks' home.
Yeah, and he doesn't really need to be on there.
Right.
But, I mean,
I totally agree with you. And you know what? We get the benefit of looking at this 20 years
in hindsight
in the future.
Right. I think Shawn and Doink would have probably killed it.
Not only that, it seems like a natural fit. What the fuck are you doing? Putting Crush in, like you said, a guy who just lost at WrestleMania, and now he's fighting the IC champion. Are you fucking kidding?
I don't.
Why?
I don't understand.
Why?
Maybe they thought, well, we fucked up. We should have. Maybe we gotta get him hot again.
Could be. It definitely could
because
be.
I think if, let's say, Doink loses at WrestleMania 9, that doesn't kill Doink.
No, because he's still being built anyway, and he's a fucking clown.
And he's a douchebag clown.
Right.
You have him lose at WrestleMania 9, which, realistically, he's an underdog.
Absolutely.
Against a guy like fucking Crush.
Absolutely.
So if he loses at WrestleMania 9, give him...
It's kind of expected.
Yeah, give him 2-3 weeks.
Right.
Have him fucking mess around with Bret Hart for...
Right.
Now that he's not the champion.
Right.
And then, boom.
Right.
People forget about that he lost to Crush.
Easily.
But no, have him beat Crush, and then Crush looks like a fucking fool, and now he's going to have a title match with Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
No sense, no rhyme, no reason.
Sometimes I don't understand wrestling booking. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's frustrating. It really is.
I'm so frustrated you can just talk about the match. I'm not going to do it.
All right. Well,
You go do it.
Of course, Shawn comes out again, gets cheered huge, which threw me off to like hear that reaction for Shawn Michaels. But you can just tell with Shawn, his confidence increases with every appearance, which is so good. He's on the upswing major, and he came out weirdly to Sherry Martel's version of his song.
I didn't even notice that.
Which I thought we moved away from. So he came
No,
out
we
with
did.
that. Which again was weird. And when Crush made his entrance, he got a decently positive reaction, but nowhere near how Sean got.
I remember watching it, and it was as if it was similar to Kamala.
Yes, there was a lot of indifference.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, it was positive. But compared to Sean, which is like the obvious heel, Sean got cheered way more. Which, again, so weird.
Well, I think it's understandable, too, for Crush to have that reaction because
He just lost.
he just lost on the
Yeah.
biggest show of the year
Right.
to a clown.
Not to mention his gear was fucking horrible. It was like all like full purple.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Oh, that's Crush. It's Corner Crush for you.
Yeah. There was a lot of throwing off following lockups here tonight. We've gotten a lot of that to start matches
And the
off.
complaining of hair pulls that didn't happen.
Yes, complaining of hair pulls. The match started with Michaels bouncing all around the ring on like pushes, basically. Sean fought out of a side headlock, but got quickly back into a bear hug. So again, a submission right into another boring submission. Crush followed this up with a huge backbreaker that sent Michaels writhing to the floor in pain. So he rolled out of the ring to the floor. And Michaels then met Crush back in the ring and attempted a clothesline that didn't even phase Crush, which I think is dumb. He's the IC champion. Like, he can't clothesline Crush, who just lost to a clown.
I'm a tough guy, brother.
I guess. Crush then walked around the ring with Michaels over his head in a gorilla press until he threw him to the mat effortlessly, which was good. And then that's when Crush was kind of able to get all over Michaels here. He took Sean to a knee. Crush took Sean into like a knee crush, is what I'm trying to say here. Which sent him back to the floor where he could ram Crush into the ring post. So Sean was able to kind of swing the momentum back his way. Good God, this match, I don't know. It's not great. Sean kept Crush on the outside until he attempted to hit some axe handles on him back inside the ring. So he kind of allowed Crush to slide back into the ring. And Crush worked his way back into the match by hitting, again, some basic stuff and stomping Sean with... He stopped him with like a stalling suplex, a leg drop, and this again sent Sean rolling out of the ring. So again, we're seeing a lot of bailing out, a lot of stalling, small bursts of offense, and then back out to the floor. The bell rang as Michaels headed for the back, and the ref called for the bell due to a count out. So we got a count out finish here. Despite the call, Crush went out to Sean and got him back in the ring to suffer a little head vice grip or whatever he calls it.
But Kona vice.
Oh, there you go. Crush then held up the belt as if he was the winner, like an idiot. So now he looks even stupider. And then he was mad at the ref for calling for the bell. Well, what the fuck you want me to do? He threw the belt down on Sean and posed for the live crowd. I thought this match was ridiculous. I think it could have been a lot better than it was, especially with a power guy like Crush and a bumper like Shawn Michaels. Again, disappointed, didn't deliver, basic shit.
Okay, well, I think I liked it more than you did.
Yeah.
But I think it's more because of what Michaels did.
He went out of his way to try and make the match.
Yeah. And I
Yes.
think he would try to go out of his way to make Crush look good.
I think so,
Which
too.
makes me scared. Because if he's trying to make Crush look good, then that must mean that there's something long-term between these guys.
Yes.
So I don't know what could possibly be going on with that.
Right.
But I would I would have to say this is the best thing on the show so far. Like Fatu and Knobs was okay, but it wasn't.
Yeah, this is probably, and
better.
that scares me to say that. But yes, this is
Yeah.
probably so far the best we've seen.
Yeah,
in ring.
certainly not like amazing or anything.
No,
But solid effort.
I wouldn't even rate it a B. It's another C match. For
I
me.
would say a solid effort, but more so because of Crush, because of Shawn Michaels.
That's right, damn right, because of Sean.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Yeah, no, this is an example of Shawn really kind of carrying it and Crush just going along with the ride.
Yes.
The finish though is stupid.
Stupid.
'Cause the referee calls for the bell when Crush is still like on the apron and Michaels is outside the ring. So how in the world would Crush ever think he won the match by pinning?
Yeah.
Because usually, like, I could understand that similar to WrestleMania 9 when they waited so long to ring the bell and
Right.
it was a disqualification or whatever.
Right.
But like Crush literally had to leave the ring and then bring him back in, hit the tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, and then do the cone of ice. And that took about 2 minutes after the bell.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he just it looks like as if he has a coconut for a brain. He doesn't really doesn't know the rules.
Yeah, they're making Crush look like an idiot. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, they are.
They are, yeah. I'm right on board with you. And to think 2 months ago, I was like, let's see where this Crush guy goes.
I'm telling you,
They're
I
booking
knew
him
it.
horrible.
I knew it.
I think he's okay in the ring. They're just booking him horrible.
Yeah, they're making him look stupid.
Yeah, like I can't get behind that.
No.
Not anything against stupid
No.
people. I'm a pretty dumb guy myself. But I'm not going to cheer for a dumb guy.
No.
Like, I'm not going to cheer for Kamala. He's dumb. Why am I going to cheer for Kamala or for
No.
Crush? He's dumb too.
Yeah. I agree.
If I'm a dumb guy, I'm not rooting for another dumb guy. I'm rooting for the smart guy because I wish I was smart.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That sounded like a confession there for a minute there.
I wasn't going to say it, but there you go.
All right. Well, at least I got that off my chest. So our next segment here is Bobby Heenan. And he's in the ring, and he's set to interview former WWF World Champion Yokozuna and his manager, Mr. Fuji. This is essentially the same thing from Raw, but we
Yes.
actually hear from Fuji this time.
And I got to tell you, Bob, I couldn't wait to hear this babbling bullshit come out. Like, I was ready for this.
So we'll go ahead. Tell us what it was
Oh,
all
you
about.
want me to go through?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, you're more excited about it.
Well, basically, so Fuji clarifies, because Bobby asks him, what happened? Explain to me what happened at WrestleMania with Hogan winning the championship from Yoko, basically, is the question. Fuji clarifies that Yoko was still the WWF champion at this very moment. So he doesn't, he says they didn't lose because it wasn't sanctioned. He says that, he says, Fuji is no dummy. It was just like, okay, where are we going with this? He says that they signed no contract, got no publicity, and no money was discussed for the match between Hogan and Yoko. And I have to mention here, Fuji even says Yokozuna's name correctly here.
Finally. It took him 4 months.
So, okay, we're on the right track with this. I'm like, okay, he's made some decent points. Let's see where it goes. Fuji then turned his attention to Jim Duggan and tells Duggan that he better be careful, as he must have forgot what happened to him last time he and Yokozuna stepped in the ring, which is, again, another fair point. I could only understand a couple of sentences for Fuji here. And I feel like Bobby was just kind of going along with it because he probably barely understood Fuji also. Then Fuji said Yokozuna. And it was like, oh, fuck, here we go. Here's the turn right here. He's fucking said his name wrong again after he just said it right. So I was like, God damn it. He says that Duggan is like a typical Englishman, no guts and no heart. Coming from Mr. fucking Fuji. I guess apparently Yoko and Fuji will be sitting ringside for the main event. Maybe that was something I missed that Fuji said. Again, I could barely understand what he was talking about.
No, I don't think that was said. I mean, I remember as we get to the main event, like they say, "Oh, I guess Yokozuna's sticking around." So I don't think it was said.
Right. Well, and so the way this kind of turned into what it did, I was fully expecting a rematch between Yokozuna and Duggan.
That's what I would
for the
think.
main event.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Because Fuji made it all about Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
He mentioned the title stuff in the beginning, only because he was prompted by Bobby Heenan, and then he switches it immediately.
Yeah.
And doesn't even talk about that. So I was on board at first, and then Fuji, it's like, what the fuck? Yokozuna, here we fucking go. Why?
Gotta love it. I didn't think it was that great of a segment, and I don't really believe that Bobby Heenan does very well with in-ring interviews.
Well, he doesn't help to.
He doesn't enhance anything.
He doesn't keep anything on the rails.
Right.
Which is kind of, in a position like that, you have to.
Yeah.
Oppositely to when Vince does them, he very much keeps it on the rails in what they need to be talking about. I feel like Bobby, when he does these, he just kind of lets them go. And that's not good for a lot of people.
No, yeah. If they just keep on rambling,
Yeah,
who knows
that's
where
not
end
good.
up going.
Because, again, I think they missed the point here with promoting the fact that Yokozuna pretty much got screwed at WrestleMania. And they let Fuji kind of target Duggan in that instead. which is kind of like not the point. Because really, when they hyped it up in the beginning of the show, it's like Fuji and Yoko were going to air their grievances about what happened at WrestleMania.
And that's not even the main focus.
No, they say like one sentence about it, and it's like, well, what the fuck?
It's basically what me and Gene said on Raw last, that Monday.
Yes.
There's not anything else.
That's it.
No
we get no new anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So coming out of that, we go backstage, and it's an interview with Jim Duggan. And he says that he wouldn't want to be in the bodybuilding competition with Luger. Meaning, I think that was in reference to, like, he knows that Luger would probably win that.
Yes.
So
In a
like,
landslide vote.
Yeah. So he knows, like, oh, I wouldn't want to do that anyway.
Right.
And I just have it that he essentially says he's got one thing he's going to do tonight, and he's going to beat Luger up.
Yeah. He goes, building on the bodybuilding thing. He goes, I wouldn't want to take Luger on in a bodybuilding contest, but this ain't bodybuilding. This is wrestling. He says that Luger can look at himself in the mirror all he wants, because once Duggan stomps down to the ring, he's going to do what he does best, beat people up. Which, mind you, he's no-showed a couple major shows, or hasn't been on them at least.
I'm going to try real hard the Royal Rumble. And they never show up.
Yeah. So I fully expected Duggan to get his ass whooped by Lex Luger. Because whatever Duggan says, you have to think the opposite.
Right. Okay.
Because he's going to win the Royal Rumble. Well, he's not even going to show up.
Yeah.
He's going to fight this guy and give it his best. Well, he's not even going to be in that match. He's going to beat up Lex Luger. Well, he's going to get his ass beat.
This is the same guy who knocked down Yokozuna and then apologized.
Yeah. Sorry for winning the contest.
Sorry for doing the first thing ever that nobody else could do.
Knocking.
And then I got attacked from behind. But my bad for embarrassing you.
Right. What? And the same guy who got yelled at by his dad.
Yeah.
So there's that. I mean, we can go right into Duggan's entrance if you'd like, Bob.
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's anything in the entrance. Are you just talking about
we got a good reaction.
Okay. Well, Heenan notes that he doesn't think the fans would chant USA because we're not in America.
Which makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
But I remember he was and then Ross was like, "You want to bet?" Well, I'm not going to bet with you. It's something along those lines.
Yeah.
And then maybe a minute in the match, it's like a USA champion.
Huge, major USA.
And he's just, and I remember, I can't remember for sure what he does in commentary, but he's like, I can't believe that they're chanting for USA right now.
Yeah. I'm always kind of surprised to see how over Duggan is with the crowds still in 1993. That amazes me.
Yeah, but it's, even as I rewatch, let's say I were to rewatch a WCW show from 99, and let's say it's Nitro, and this is the first hour, and then Duggan comes out, I find myself watching. I feel like he's a likable guy.
So
it's so weird. I don't know. I don't understand.
Every time I see Jim Duggan, and you're gonna agree with me immediately, Jim Duggan is a golden retriever.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
You can't hate Jim Duggan, and it's like you want to see him succeed because he's 100% good, which is funny because when speaking of WCW and all that, it's hilarious how they try to fucking go opposite of that. It's just ridiculous.
Well, it's fun. Okay.
Because that's never going to work. Never.
It just doesn't. Yeah. No. It just doesn't work.
And that's because, like I said, every time I see Duggan, he's like a golden retriever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just automatically likable. You're never going to hate him. He's never going to be a mean guy. Even in, if you were to meet him on the street, there's no way he's refusing to sign an autograph or something.
Right.
You would fully expect him to be Jim Duggan.
See, but it's funny with the WCW mention there because I would say even in their dying days, he was a top 4 babyface.
Yes.
And WCW was just like, fuck you. No, we are not pushing you.
Yes.
You're Canadian now.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right.
But even dating back to the 80s, late 80s in WWF.
Yep.
How that guy did not ever get a title run. Not world title. Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Beat Honky Tonk Man or something.
Right.
For a couple months, be champion.
Duggan's just one of them guys where I think till the end of time, people like seeing Jim Duggan. I don't know why.
When we went to that 2CW show in Watertown, There was like 2,000 people
to see Jim Duggan.
And as soon as Jim Duggan had, because it wasn't even the main event.
Right.
I think it was the match before the main event.
Yeah.
I would say more than half the people left.
Absolutely. It cleared out like you would have thought there was fucking deadly gas.
Yeah, because I remember when we went to the show, like there was like a TLC match was the main event, which was something I wanted to see.
Yes.
It was Sean Carr and Nick Ando.
Which are two pretty big local guys.
At the time.
And they were pretty built up at that point.
Yeah, it was a pretty big feud.
Right.
So like diehard fans like us.
Yeah, but even it being a TLC match, you would
you'd stick around.
People, yeah.
Sure. But I remember when we went, and I remember like I was looking around the crowd. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of families here, and like a lot of older guys, like probably 45, 50.
Yes.
So I remember looking around. I'm like, these guys are definitely here for fucking Jim Duggan.
Dude, yeah.
But I was not expecting, because I think maybe they didn't even know what the main event. They could have been seeing ads around the Watertown area and being like, Duggan. Oh, tickets are like $12 or $15. All right, yeah,
we'll go see the Duggan. Yeah, we'll go see Duggan.
And then his match, ends probably like 10:30 or something, and they're probably like, oh, that's probably it.
Yeah.
And literally droves of people just bailed. And then when like music, like Sean Carr's music hit, like I saw a few people like turn their head, like, oh, the show's not over, and they came back in. So I don't even know if they did not even know it was not the main event.
Yeah, dude. And you know what? I guess that blows my mind because. What? He just has that thing, I guess. That's just intangible, where people are able to. You know what I think it is? I think Duggan's a blue collar guy.
Yeah.
And that's people.
He doesn't come across as a guy who's full of himself.
Right, a larger than life, like.
Right.
You know.
Like I could see myself hanging out with Jim Duggan.
He's like a real guy.
Yeah.
Yes, and I get that, and I think that's where it comes from. But again, in '93, because he's not in the greatest of shape. He hasn't really been relevant for a while.
He's not in the greatest of shape in the sense of
what
like
he was.
muscle mass or anything.
Well, I would say 89. Duggan looks pretty good. Like his upper body's huge.
Everybody's jacked.
Well,
in the 80s.
Right. So in '93,
everybody's off the juice.
Without the gas.
Right.
His upper body is deflated.
Well,
and his gut is pretty big.
If you notice, they're all wearing like suspenders and shit, or like straps.
Yes.
Or they're wearing pants.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Yes.
So they're trying to like cover it up, but it actually enhances the visual
effect.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's even more noticeable.
Yes, but again, I think it always blows my mind to see in '93 or in fucking 2011 or whenever we saw him. I think it was later than that, but
no, I think it was like 2015.
Yeah,
or 14,
something like that. The people love
him.
People
they had it. No, 15. It was 2015. It was March. It was April 2015.
Well, I've seen him a couple times, but regardless.
So that story though is in reference to 2015.
Yes. So again, it just blows my mind. Like, okay, all right. I feel like this didn't feel like a main event though. With that said,
well, I mean, there's no story to really warrant it.
Right.
So I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit just because I want to tell you something here. So after this match between Duggan and Luger, there's a dark match after the show.
Oh.
And it's Duggan and Yokozuna.
Oh.
And Duggan beats him.
Really?
In like 3.5 minutes or something like that.
Oh my god.
Right. So why?
Right.
Why is this match a thing?
Right.
Why is Mr. Perfect fighting Samu and then not fighting Perfect here or Luger here? Because if you do Duggan Yoko as your main event, okay, then
which makes sense because it has a backstory,
right? And then you do Luger Perfect,
yes,
and then you still have Michael's Crush,
right?
I mean, what the hell,
right? And the undercard that we went through, you could have
the undercard's still brutal. If you keep it the way it is.
It's brutal, yeah, but even if you switch it up just a couple guys like we were talking about earlier.
I mean, it's probably like better. But like if you're pitching this to me, but hey man, there's a show, there's Crush Michaels, Luger Perfect, and Duggan Yoko. I'm thinking, okay.
That's probably worth watching.
Yeah, like if we're at a store and a Coliseum video, because this eventually was released on Coliseum Video.
Yes.
So if we're at the store and it's like, oh, we've been watching the Raws and stuff, like, oh, let's check out what's on this Coliseum video, read the back of it, and I see those 3 matches alone.
Yes.
I'm probably thinking
Probably worth getting.
I probably should check that out.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. The way that it is right now, I'd be like, no.
I'm probably gonna
Like,
skip that.
What? Like Duggan and Luger don't even hate. I don't even know why they're.
Right.
There's been no interaction.
Right.
Shawn Michaels and Crush. What? Why?
Right.
But the other way though, there's 2 major feuds getting addressed.
Yes. I know.
Right after WrestleMania, it's like, yeah.
Again, it feels like a natural fit, but they don't go with it. I don't know.
I'm thinking they didn't do it because they didn't want to have Yoko do because he does beat him. I know he pins him.
Right.
So I'm thinking he does. They didn't want to have that televised anywhere.
Well, so here's the
which
thing.
I understand.
Absolutely. But I feel like with the way these last couple segments fit together, it made it obvious to me, whether it's the case or not. I felt like it was obvious that there was a shift happening. That very soon, Luger is going to become a main event heel. And Yoko is going to be taking that second place spot. I feel like is going to be the case.
So you're taking it as Luger would be the main event heel.
Yes.
And Yoko will go secondary?
Yes.
I didn't get that vibe at all.
I don't know what it was, whether it was Yoko having to sit ringside for this match or the Luger, promo beforehand or something like that. But I feel like there was a special emphasis on Lex Luger here that made me feel like they're liking Lex Luger a lot more than I think they were going to.
Well, I remember watching and thinking, I can totally picture Luger in a main event feud with like a guy like Hogan, which I've mentioned before.
Sure.
But I did not think, I don't think my mind
I don't know what
went
it was.
in the direction of, Yokozuna's going to be a secondary heel.
I don't know what it was.
I still think Yoko's up here and then Luger's like a peg or 2 below him.
I would like it to be that way.
I think that's how it is.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was just the way, again, because Yoko coming off, being a complaining heel that, he got screwed and...
which really doesn't...
I don't know.
It's not really Yoko saying. I guess it's more like Fuji.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't fit...
It doesn't fit Yokozuna.
The character,
No.
yeah, because he's been like just running through people and stuff. So seeing him turn around and be like, "Oh, that wasn't fair,"
dude. So here's
and he's like, I'll accept your challenge right now." Like,
here's the thing,
what?
though. So yes, that's exactly my point. The Yokozuna we saw for weeks on Raw, being this devastating, nonstop, no chance of losing at WrestleMania, fucking monster. Compared to this Yokozuna standing ringside, 2 different guys.
right, and I don't like how, I guess you could say, that he's so dominant against lesser challengers, and then as soon as he faces a threat or something, that he like crumbles. I don't like that.
Me neither.
I feel like
it shouldn't be the case at all.
I feel like if as soon as he has a challenger, he should be even more ruthless.
Yes.
And more like I'm gonna rip your throat out.
Yes.
These other guys, all you have to do is drop a leg. I'm gonna break your neck.
Yes. Yep.
I'm gonna, all my body weight. On that belly to belly suplex. I'm crushing your ribs.
And the fact that doesn't happen, Bob, I think is detrimental to Yokozuna.
I agree. I mean, because if you do that building up to, let's say, the rematch with Hogan,
right,
and you eliminate the whining part.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say you're just like, you know what, Fuji. If they play the approach of Fuji being like, it was here the moment we made a mistake, but we won't make that mistake again.
Not even. If you're such a man, Hogan, fight him in a sanctioned match.
Yeah,
you got lucky.
Not after a 10-minute match with Bret Hart.
My Yokozuna just won the championship, and you came out and stole it like a coward. You want to prove us that you're a man? You fight us again, and you give Yokozuna a fair shot at you. Because I think you're scared to give Yokozuna a fair shot.
I was going to say, because if Hogan doesn't answer, you can be like, he's a coward.
Damn right. That's how you do it.
And then on TV, you still have him kill guys.
Absolutely.
And by the time a rematch happens, whether it's at King of the Ring or SummerSlam, fans would be like...
fucking through the roof.
Yeah, they're going to be like, oh, shit, can Hogan do it, like, straight up? Like, Yoko didn't have a match beforehand?
Does he have it still? Does Hogan have it still to beat Yokozuna?
Because then they'd be even.
Exactly.
Because what Hogan did is a heel thing. I mean, let's be real.
Completely. He capitalized on a weekend champion.
Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't.
Imagine it in that way, though. That's the way, Bob, it should be working.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you're going to draw the most money.
Exactly, and they're not doing that.
Yeah.
They're actually doing the opposite. Which,
a whining big guy.
which
You know.
again, I think that's
I wouldn't buy a pay-per-view right now
no.
with Hogan and Yoko with the premise here of Yoko's just complaining.
Crying about,
Yeah.
sour
I would
grapes.
want him to like injure undercard guys, and be like, this is Hogan's fault.
Yeah, you didn't stop our momentum at all. We didn't lose anything to you.
Yeah.
You're a coward for not giving Yokozuna a fair match. You, in all intents and purposes, Hogan stole the belt. It wasn't a match. Hogan stole the belt.
There was never a bell.
Right.
Ever, nothing.
Yes.
Ugh, okay, I don't understand. Okay, main event. Jim Duggan, Lex Luger. Yokozuna has remained at ringside as noted. Duggan gets a few shots in, and Luger bails to the floor. Shockingly, that's happened almost every
much.
match.
Too
it
much.
seems. Duggan blocks a right hand and jabs Luger several times, and that drops Luger to the mat. Luger gets some right hands in a clothesline. Duggan charges the corner, but is met with a boot to the face. Duggan is met with a knee lift to the midsection as Luger keeps control of the match. Pretty basic stuff, really. Luger is sent face first into the top turnbuckle, and then Duggan fights back with more right hands. They collide on a stereo shoulder block attempt.
Yep.
This leads to Luger distracting the referee while Duggan is on the floor by that point. And then so Luger's distracting the referee, and Yokozuna sits up from his seat at the ring. I think he was sitting down. And then he promptly uses Duggan as his seat as he does a sit-down splash on the floor. And then Duggan is rolled back into the ring. Luger nails Duggan with a running forearm shot, but Mr. Perfect comes running in out of nowhere, and they don't even foreshadow it or anything by zooming out or tilting it to the right hand side. He just freaking flies into the ring and attacks Luger, knocking Lex to the floor. That obviously leads to a disqualification, giving Luger the win. Mr. Fuji holds Perfect's leg, and that allows Luger to get a few shots in on Perfect, and then Yokozuna drops Perfect with a strike. Yokozuna goes to the middle rope and attempts a bonsai drop, but Perfect is able to move, and Yokozuna crashes to the mat. Duggan gets up with his 2x4 and scares the heels from the ring to essentially close the show.
Yes. I want to make a few notes in here during this match. In the beginning, Duggan was sticking his chin out, basically asking Luger to hit him.
Yeah, that was at one. Yeah, he was just like, "Go ahead, do it," and then he blocked it or something like that.
So here's what I would do.
Yeah, go ahead.
I say, how good would it have been if you have Luger hit Duggan straight up with the elbow, knock him out cold, and just pin him? Right there.
I don't think I would have liked that.
I think that would have fucking made the crowd be like, holy shit.
Well, for Luger, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if
they might have rioted.
I don't know if I would want to do that to Duggan. I mean, I still think there's value in Duggan.
Which, again, blows my mind. But
I do. I mean, you got to remember with his feud with Yoko, that place erupted.
He's a good tool. So you don't want to...
He's not a building block.
No.
But he's a guy you use to catapult others.
Yes.
So, like the Bam Bam Bigelows, the Razor Ramones.
Right.
Guys like that.
Still, I think that would have been like... Again, if they were leveraging Luger into the main event heel, if they do that, dude, holy shit. That would have been good.
I mean, I would have felt... Like, if I was in the crowd, I would have felt gypped off.
Well, this whole show gypped you off.
Oh, yeah.
So, going back to when Yoko kind of hits, like, the senton onto Duggan on the outside, it looked pretty shitty. I'll be honest with you.
Well, he's still wearing his fucking robe.
Yeah, but Yoko basically, like, gently sits down on Duggan.
Yeah. He doesn't,
It doesn't
jump up
look
right
impactful at all. Yeah. At all. So, I really didn't like that.
I thought we were going to get another count-out finish, to be honest with you.
I was worried of that, too. I'll be honest with you. I fully expect... So, heading into the kind of the finish and post-finish, I fully expected Perfect to be squashed by Yokozuna with a bonsai drop. So, when Perfect moves, I was like, holy shit. And I definitely didn't expect Duggan to come rushing in with a fucking 2x4. Because Duggan kind of cleared house. When Duggan was in there, dude, the crowd was going nuts. This is the excitement I think they were waiting for 45 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Like, they've been waiting for something like this to, at least something decent to sink their teeth in all night. So I feel bad that they had to wait literally all night to see that. So the show goes off the air. It's Duggan and Perfect in the ring, chasing off. They've already chased off Yoko and Luger. Bobby's yelling, "Call the police," on commentary. And I have to say, I expected coming off of this card a tag match. Yoko and Luger versus Duggan and Perfect.
On the same show?
No.
Just later on?
On a future show somewhere.
Yeah. I thought maybe that they were going to continue the show with a tag match right then and there.
That would have been nice.
That's what I was
That would have been nice.
Too.
I'd say, just not saying much, but I'd say the second part of the show was stronger than the first. Not by much. It was a very lopsided show. It was like just mostly downs, little ups. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Yokozuna, in my opinion, is dropped a few pegs over the last couple of shows. I think he got a raw deal for sure at WrestleMania with the Hogan thing. And I hate to say it, I think that's going to screw him moving forward. That's going to be something that I think set bad wheels in motion for Yokozuna. Overall for this show, though, I thought it was barely passable. There was very little sprinkled in that was worth seeing. But, of course, nothing to go out of your way to watch.
Well, I think the Yokozuna thing is kind of accurate just because it kind of hurt his image.
Yes.
With the Hogan thing.
Yes.
Because leading into WrestleMania, you're thinking this guy's unstoppable.
Yes.
And he loses to Hogan in like 22 seconds.
And I think right at that point, Bob, the facade is gone.
No, I think you're right. But you got to think that there's other, with the whole Duggan stuff, and like even Savage a little bit. Like he wasn't presented like hugely strong, I feel like, as soon as he met actual competition.
Which is a
mistake. Didn't help. Yeah,
it's a mistake. And you make these little mistakes, and it only
they pile up.
So it only takes one match to set the house of matches on fire.
Right.
You know what I mean? That one loss to Hogan that sent the house of sticks up, I think. Because I'm telling you, to me, dude, it's immediately apparent on this show, and we're talking a week after WrestleMania, Yokozuna is in some trouble. He's in some trouble. And it sucks because, again, the lead up to WrestleMania, one of the best ever, I think, for a guy, for a monster heel, a larger heel.
Well, yeah, it was super effective, and it really made Brett an underdog.
And it made the WrestleMania match believable. Like, I believe that Yokozuna is going to walk through the WWF champion. Easily walk through him.
Well, you would think he had no chance. Exactly. I mean, I feel like I'm being kind of a hypocrite because I just said, like, his build-up wasn't that great.
I disagree.
Well, no, I mean, it is a good build-up. There's just some levels of it that hurt him.
Where he should have been beating nostalgia acts a lot easier than he was.
Like, he should be killing Randy Savage.
Yes.
Like, and I like Randy, but
yes,
he should cleanly do that, not have Fuji use his flag to hit him.
Again,
stuff like that.
Little mistakes that caused...
The Duggan thing doesn't hurt him that much because he didn't actually lose a match. And you actually forget that he lost.
I'll be honest, I think the Duggan thing helped him.
Right, yeah.
That was a positive.
I can see how it is.
The competitive match with, all respect to Randy, a Raw commentator, was not good. He basically had to cheat to win.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
And I think that's a problem.
That's a problem.
So what they're going to have to do here, let's say if he wins the belt again from Hogan, prior to even that match, I mean, he's going to have to go through probably everybody but Brett.
Yes.
To rebuild himself.
Yes.
And then when when he's champion again, that's when you go back to, like, can they beat him again or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
The Hogan thing is this poor book. I mean, that's just short-sighted.
Completely. It's throwing money away. I'm sorry, but it's throwing money away.
Well, you're throwing away your future for a guy that's
yes.
there for 3 weeks,
yes.
3 months, 2 months.
Yes. And now that I'm thinking about it, speaking of Randy Savage and Yokozuna, let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back to the Royal Rumble, where Yokozuna made Randy Savage look like a fool.
Right. Yeah, going for the pin or whatever.
Yeah, and like throwing him around and basically like this guy is nothing. So he easily wins the Royal Rumble against his final opponent, Randy Savage. And again, it's pretty well built up. But those subtle mistakes and that fucking getting beat by Hogan at WrestleMania, it's fatal for Yokozuna, man. That was a fatal mistake, I think.
You know, I don't think that's
Almost inexcusable.
I don't think you're too far off on that one, to be honest with you. As for Rampage 93 for myself, I mean, I don't think there's really anything redeeming on it at all.
Yeah.
I think the only reason why I had us do this just because to be a completist.
Sure.
Yeah,
it's a live special or whatever.
Yeah, and it's readily available. I mean, there's like another one in the same month here from like Italy or something, but that's not really readily available.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was ever.
That's not on the network, I don't think.
No, and it was never released like on Coliseum Video or anything like that. So that's not something I'm going to really venture off to do. Maybe maybe on a future bonus show or something we could do.
Yeah, totally.
Something like that. But
Totally.
if it's like a Coliseum Video release, I feel like we should have covered it. So
yeah, and especially if they feature it on the network and you guys can go and find it, I would say definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, I mean, I don't recommend checking it out.
Me neither.
If you can avoid it, avoid it. But if you're following along with the series or whatever, and you want to watch it as you're listening to this, I mean, we're already well over the runtime of the show itself, so you could be listening to us as you're watching or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I would just avoid it. But moving forward, though, the next several episodes that we will have are just going to be straight up Raws.
Right. So we're back into the system a little bit.
Yeah.
Which would be nice because, again, moving forward, I'm looking forward to see where we go from here with some of these feuds.
Yeah, so from here we'll go from obviously April 12th. So we do 2 shows every time we sit down, as we've noted.
Yes.
So our next time that we will sit down will be the April 12th and April 19th shows. Mm-hmm. And I think starting with the April 26th show, moving forward, I think is pretty good television.
Right.
There's some consistent action there that I'm really looking forward to seeing how you like it, being arguably maybe the first time you've seen it, and then seeing how much I may have liked it, since really the last time I've seen it in its entirety as a train is going by now, with
Diesel Power.
Hey, we're close to him too, man. He's
go.
coming. To see how much that holds up to me compared to 10 years ago, from when I may have originally watched it.
Right.
So
and I can feel it, Bob. I can feel it in my veins. I can feel that brighter times are ahead of us. Yeah. And I think coming off of WrestleMania, I knew that WrestleMania was, again, a show we'd have to get through to get to that point. Because, as we discussed last week, WrestleMania is the basis. We needed a solid basis to work off of. And now that we have that, I have hopes for the future.
Yeah, and I think by May, it's like there's just like an influx of new talent,
which is what they need.
Which freshens up the show.
Yes.
Because I mean, a lot of these guys that we're seeing now have been there since 1990, since 1989.
Right.
Or they've been there since 92, but realistically, they should never have been there.
Exactly.
Something along those lines.
Yes.
So when we're getting these new characters and different storyline arcs and stuff, it's kind of it'll make for a fresher experience, I think.
Right.
Right.
And you know what? That's what I'm looking for.
And I think the guys they bring in, or guys that may come back, makes for better in ring. Because now it's like brawling, pretty much like slams and stuff.
Yeah.
But guys that come in, like they'll go over the top.
Right.
And they'll do suplexes, or like the Steiner Brothers. They're doing suplexes.
There's a present evolving, which is what the show. Now that they have Raw, they have a live platform, well, quote unquote live platform. Now it's time to bring up the standards of the in-ring stuff, and I think that's coming.
Well, I agree, and I don't want to go too far ahead here, but if you have ever noticed when guys from WWF go to WCW, it's like easier.
Yes.
They're coasting. But WCW, like born and like bred guys who are the in-ring workhorses that come over to WWF, like it carries over.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
yes.
that's like if we were doing a WCW project, I think we'd see the same thing. Like, oh, here comes Jake Roberts. Oh, okay, well, this sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if we're seeing, like, oh, the Steiner brother, or,
Yeah.
Sting and Vader. Oh, that's insane. And then it's like, oh, Jake Roberts. Like, oh, shoot.
Well, and you know what? Just kind of to wrap up that whole idea, I think the difference has always been WCW was where you want to make the money. WWF is where you want to capitalize on your passion. There's a quite a difference of, especially between talent, maybe talent-wise. I'm going to go to WCW to get a check, or I'm going to go to WWF to try and succeed and be the best I can be. I would say.
Well, I think you're right.
On a talent level.
Well, I think you're right. Because I think WCW, how would I say this? I think some people are in WCW working their way to WWF, okay, where there's a bigger platform in WWF to, capitalize or whatever.
Yes.
And then once they get there, they can get more money back at WCW. So they go back there and then they coast.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, oh, I'm working so hard to get to a top level spot in WWF where there's a more global recognizable thing.
Yes.
I'll get over there. Then when I'm free up, WCW will be like, hey man, sorry we let you go. Here's, 7 figures. And it's like, okay, how many dates do I got to work? 30? All right, be there in 20.
Well, so here's the thing. Yeah. It's like maybe one of WCW's biggest faults, and not to go in a rant here, but they were able to shell out the money without asking too many questions. And talent knew that. So in a lot of ways, I think talent kind of took advantage of WCW, to whereas really the passionate guys in WCW were getting screwed, like, the cruiserweights and guys like Chris Benoit and stuff like that, to whereas passion in the WWF is rewarded. I feel like that's kind of the difference between the two. There might not be as much to strong arm in the WWF to, get your contract to $3 million, but I don't know. There's some kind of weird. You can't really take advantage monetarily, the WWF, and if you do, usually you don't last. And I think that's the difference. And as a fan, I can kind of realize that, but I think on a talent level, that's where it was kind of at. I don't know. Maybe I'm way off.
No, I think your mind's in the right avenue.
Yeah.
I've had a few people ask, whether it be in person or on forums or whatever, if like we would cover WCW. I know we've talked about it, and I think I think at some point we would.
Yeah.
More so in the Nitro era.
Right.
Moving in that time frame.
Right.
But with the live watch or bonus episodes or whatever, I could see us, and maybe we should do live watch the WCW pay-per-views just to see the context of what's going on. I'm not saying I'm not watching
out notes and
I'm not doing that
backstory stuff.
No, and I'm not going to watch the TVs leading up to it to get in context. Right. The whole idea of that aspect of it, and maybe I'll mention it more so that people don't forget, but the idea of it would be, hey, we're 2 WWF guys. If we're going to the video store and we see Super Brawl 3, for instance, which is the first one for 93, okay, let's pick that up, and then we would watch it.
Yeah, just to see how it is. What is this?
So then, years down the line, when, let's say, a Benoit comes in, or a stunning Steve Austin, it's like, oh, well, I remember him from...
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, oh, whoa.
Now he's here.
He's bald now. What happened?
Yeah, right.
So that different kind of context there. So.
Right. There's options there, and I don't want to sound like I'm bashing WCW because, to be honest with you, Bob, I grew up as a kid a WCW fan.
Well, I grew up a WCW fan because I would go to bed at 9.
Right.
As a kid.
Right.
So Nitro was always on 8 to 9.
Right.
For the first hour when it was a 3-hour show. So I'd be able to watch, the bad stuff.
Well, and you know what, too? For me, growing up, I would say 98 or whatever, they had all the stars. WCW had all the stars. That my parents knew.
The recognizable names.
So, when they'd buy me toys, they bought me, a Hulk Hogan and a Goldberg because they knew Hulk Hogan. So I think that's kind of where that comes from. Again, I grew up in North Carolina, so that probably helped, too. But yeah, I don't want people to get the wrong idea that I don't like WCW. I grew up a WCW guy.
Well, and why this stuff for me for WWF is so fresh to me is because whenever I go back and watch old school wrestling, I'm usually picking a WCW show.
Yes.
To be honest.
Me too. Yeah. I think they hold up better because they were able to attract more talent with the money that they were shelling out compared to, WWF at the
like
time.
Ted Turner. I mean, WWF, let's say, they're bleeding money essentially, like by like 94 for sure.
Yes.
I don't know how they're doing in
Yes.
93, but in 93 and 94, Ted Turner's just like, I don't care, get him.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Spend the money.
because he can afford it. I mean, he's got
Yes.
different avenues in which he's making money. So.
Yes. He's not just a wrestling guy.
Yeah, he's got the Braves, and
Right.
I think he owned the Atlanta Hawks too at one point. So, and he has CNN for Christ's sake. He's got his own network,
yeah.
so he's making some serious cash
Yeah.
on that. So, but I mean, that's just where this show's going. So the next several tapings, I would assume, we're probably going to stick to the Raws. I think what we were thinking about doing was keeping to the format of just Raws, and then when we get to a pay-per-view, kind of take it easy on the Raws so we don't get burnt out. Do like bonus shows from
If
there.
you guys are good and you guys help us out and share us around and get the word out, get IcoPod popping all over the internet, we'll make sure to put some more bonus shows through for you. And hey, maybe we'll even get some polls together to see what you guys want us to watch.
Oh, that's
that
a
would
good
be
idea.
interesting. Yeah.
That'd be a good idea. Yeah, get like a selection of like 5 or 6 things.
Yeah, a
They
couple
go, here you go.
shows around the same time period, so we're not breaking too many walls.
Right.
But yeah, we'll take some feedback on that. I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, and then of course, if you want to flood people's Twitters, let's say like a Lex Luger or like a Jim Duggan,
Yeah,
because he's on Twitter.
Help
Hey
us
man,
out.
do an opening for IcoPod. Tough guy. Oh, you're like, can you imagine? You're listening to
Yeah.
IcoPod. You've got to hear it. Oh,
Yeah. Something. Even though we bury 90% of the talent on these shows.
you are burying.
Oh, I'm pulling
I'm a
you,
Luger guy.
I'm pulling you along with you.
I'm respecting Duggan.
I'm pulling you along with me.
Who have I really even bashed on this?
Most of the guys.
Bullshit.
But yeah, hey, get us an opening. That'd be cool because we suck at getting an opening from anybody because nobody really gives a shit. What
I
we
mean,
say.
I literally send out professional emails,
Yeah.
and they just get ignored.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Right.
So maybe if someone's just like, "Hey, Jimmy Hart," not naming any names, Jimmy Hart. Hey, maybe respond to these guys.
Yeah.
Because I've had to think Jimmy Hart has a freaking studio somewhere. The guy used to do music all the time.
Not only that, I mean, his schedule could probably allow for a 3-second fucking recording.
Probably. And we should just go to these like Comic Cons or whatever,
And just ask.
and just be like, "Hey, here's
Yeah.
my phone. Can you just say these words?
Yeah. I know.
Just suck it up and do it."
I know.
But I'm a coward, so I'd rather not get punched or something.
Well, you tried with Brett.
I did. And the guy also known as Bob. There's another guy named Bob. He just rushed me.
Bastard.
It was great. It was a good time. Brett's a nice guy, though.
He's a nice guy. He gets a bad rap. He's a nice guy.
I don't think I've ever... Mick Foley kind of is a dick, though.
When McFoley's not in a good mood, he's a dick.
Yeah. Like if his knee hurts or something, or hip.
Or he's been had a long day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame him.
Yeah, his daughter's hot, though, so I'll let it slide.
Speaking of let it slide, we gotta slide out of here because these guys are probably asleep by now. How long have we been going, Bob?
2:13.
Yeah, we're sorry, guys. We've been babbling a long time.
Yeah.
We just like wrestling a lot, and we know you do too.
Right.
And again, this era doesn't get enough love, so we're trying to
People have noted that.
we're trying to do it justice.
Yeah, people are like, wow, nobody does. I love this era. So
Exactly.
we will be continuing on into the era when everybody else covers it, hopefully.
Hopefully.
So, thanks for listening to IcoPod.
You gotta hear it.